What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go get something to drink. Did Kaido get power cliffed out? That's a question we can actually have. That's a question we can actually have sometime soon. Um 1 second. How's everybody doing? Back to the manga mines. Bleach after a decade still depletes all the black ink. That's what I'm saying. Didn't you live stream about it though? I remember it derailed the Naruto slot. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But for real, I just read. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody feeling today? Hope you guys are feeling well. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a good start to your weeks. This looks like Don. 100% looks like Don. What's this one about? Hatsumoto Ikuto, the manager of a local bookstore book forest, is an otaku who can't resist spending money on his favorite characters in games. Todoroki Miran, the part-time leader, looks up to him but can't understand his obsession with spending on in-game things. When Ikuto claims, "For me, spending money is an investment," Miran teases, "If that's the case, how about you invest in me?" As the two navigate a cycle of investment and returns, the distance between their hearts begins to shrink. A unique and charming investment-themed romantic comedy. Oh. That's nice. How's everybody doing? Anyway, going to make lunch steak with ramen with imitation lobster? Shit, steak with ramen sounds fancy. Not even fancy, it just sounds good. Very good job was done. Everyone is happy. I'm playing Bloodborne in 60 FPS. I could go on. It's a great day today. I love that for you, Marcos. Holy shit. I love that for you. How's everybody else doing? A good debater is composed of knowledge and argumentation, but it depends on the subject is being discussed, as lack of knowledge almost leads to baseless arguments. Kaido versus Luffy, Elbaf, Kaido high divs, easy. Luffy had an amp because of his first time awakening and coming back from dying. So, as we get more and more viewers to show up, the reason why I asked this in the first place, just want to see what this is about. The reason why I asked this in the first place is this. Whoa. Is she a fucking high schooler? Alright, I'm not reading this. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I wasn't gonna start reading it. What else do we have here? This one seems interesting. She has a cigarette in her mouth. What's this about? A talked about work by Tomoki Nakaura, who brilliantly won the first chapter serialization competition hosted by Young Magazine editorial department. Spring, a university debut, a fetish awakening. Alright, this is definitely adult stuff. Alright, definitely don't want to watch that. The fuck are we watching? We're not watching anything. Don't worry about that. Okay, so the reason why I asked the question at the start of the stream is partially because I was watching a video yesterday by one of my more preferred YouTubers of today's landscape, Farfa. How old did you think she was? It's a manga. They draw a girl with facial wrinkles and they'll be 15. I don't fucking know, dude. I stop asking until I get some kind of implication within the series. I don't ask until the series implies it, bro. Because honestly, half the time you can't even fucking tell. So, most of the time you can, but half the time you can't. Honestly, with this picture, I was like, well, you know, by the description of this crap right here, it might have been by the description of like this right here, a story about investing in a girl at workplace. I don't know, man. I thought she might be like in her fucking 20s, at least 19 or some shit. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm not gonna make any assumptions. This is a drama romance seinen. What the fuck's a seinen again? Let me just look that up real quick. Oh, there we go. What the fuck's a seinen? Seinen manga, a category targeted to young adult to adult men, roughly 18 to 40. All right. Why was I supposed to know? Listen, I'm probably just generalizing. It's probably not as weird as it seems to be. What is this serialized version of the manga? Yeah. Reference book, is this somewhere? I can't figure it out. I almost forgot. It's really no pickles. This is my new outfit. I'm spending this much on rent, huh? Back to spending money on girls. Please don't do that. You're not working today. I'm already aware. Why'd you come here? Alright. Alright. It doesn't seem to be as weird as I thought. All things considered, it doesn't seem to be as weird as I thought. To quote you, you fool, you fell victim to one of the classic blunders. Ha! Alright. Anyways, a fresh Kaido plus a sword, low mid-divs, gear 5 Luffy. You can also tire him out and that just be an auto win. Always bet on Kaido. Okay, this doesn't seem to be too weird. Fantastic. Alright. Sure, whatever. Don't really care for it anymore. What's this about? If you were to... have you read the leaks? No, I don't read leaks. I don't care for leaks. Please don't leak anything. Yeah, it looks like Android 18, doesn't it? Is not a person who has the best knowledge about the verse, but somebody who can put their points better and just throw people off. You're a master debater, Dupont-san. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. So, the reason why I asked this question, as I was trying to explain before, was because, as I said, a YouTuber that I prefer watching nowadays, Farfa, usually puts about, actually, yeah, usually does put out some different kinds of content, and recently he ran a Yu-Gi-Oh! Debate tournament within the context of his, one of his streams. Now, it did give me some ideas, because something that we talked about, can the Viltrumite race defeat Kaguya? I'm not sure because I have not sat here and watched anything even remotely close to Invincible Season 4. I don't know anything about the comic book, so I can't actually answer that. I don't feel comfortable giving you any kind of, any reasoning for that. Although I will say Kaguya's dimensions seem far less threatening when you have people that can fly, but that's neither here nor there. So, part of the reason why I asked this also is because, something that he did here was more so to have a debate stream where he brought up different topics of conversation where other members of his Discord server, members of his community, could come in with him and essentially just debate it out for a couple of points, maybe like 10 minutes worth of time, about any one of the topics that they were talking about, right? The reason why I kind of thought that this might be an interesting topic to discuss with you guys is because last week we kind of covered this idea of whether or not being good at debating was the same thing as being good at scaling. I think personally that both sides of skills, or you could say both skills, may correlate to an extent, but they don't entirely mix together. What I mean is, when you're scaling or when you're debating, you can have someone be a very good debater but not know very much about power scaling. You can have someone who is very good at scaling, very good at debate. What was the first thing I said? Very good at scaling, not very good at debating, or very good at debating and not very good at scaling. Either or doesn't really matter. I do think that they're two completely different skill sets. Not very useful ones day in, day out, but, you know, still different skill sets that one may have. So I did want to know whether or not you guys would be down to have some debates within the context of my, within the context of our streams. But don't worry, I'm not going to ask you guys to provide evidence. Well, I was thinking about doing more so, specifically topics that don't necessarily need you to do a bunch of research on, nor do you necessarily need to back up your claims. We don't necessarily need to do that here. More so topics of conversations that genuinely fall down to the basis of opinions, whether it's anime related, such as anime related, power scaling, community related, power scaling related, or whatever conversation, or whatever topic of conversation that, you know, we overall have. Yeah, that's just argumentation plus knowledge on a particular topic, but doesn't necessitate one's arguments being absolutely true, that his arguments could lack further stuff, which could debunk itself. Yeah. Lady of Pain could beat Bleach and Naruto's top characters with each. I don't know who the fuck that is. So is Asta multiversal? I wouldn't agree with it, but there are people who believe it, and I think that is completely fine, Peter. Or even solidify his arguments further there's further evidence that backs out a claim. Right, so there are questions that I've been thinking about for a while, or at least since yesterday now, that essentially could be used to have a conversation on whether or not people would like to discuss such a thing. For example, should we use verse equalization, for example? Should we use verse equalization? This is one of those topics that, again, it doesn't matter what side you land on. More so, would anyone like or be comfortable with debating the pro versus the con of it with another member of chat? Obviously, we don't have to do that today, but it's a topic of conversation that I found that could be quite interesting, especially within our stream, since it could also be turned into content. I'm seriously considering sitting down and compiling a doc to see if I'm right about Naruto and Bleach being around speed of sound, few characters above lightning, none at light. Well, you can do that, of course. I would say you can also try to do the opposite and also look for light speed feats or potential light speed feats and then make a comparison on it. D&D character, she controls a city in the center of the multiverse on top of an endless spiral. All gods fear her power as she can deny them access to a plane, travel, and all their powers. That's interesting. That's actually pretty fucking impressive. So, I don't know. Would this be something? Should we verse? Depends on how you feel. Right. So it depends on how you feel. But but I think it would be more interesting to have two people, one of them not being me, to come on, just express their points, and then to see whether, and then have chat decide whether or not, who made the better argument. Not about which side you agree with, more so who is able to construct on the flash a better argument. Like the vague multiversal bleach statement. Oh, vague multiversal bleach statements, yeah. But yeah. I'm not sure if this would be something you guys would be down to do in the future, probably later this week. But my question here is, would you guys be willing to participate? Again, you don't need to actually grab evidence. I'm not asking you to go out of your way to have a bunch of scans ready. I'm not asking anything even remotely of the sort. I'm just saying, would you like to come on, present your point, present your opinion, and simply debate with somebody else, have a civil back and forth with them, and then at the end we'll just have chat decide who made the better argument. I think that would be an interesting thing to do. But yeah, let's just see. Would you be willing? But evidence makes an amazing debater. Not necessarily, because none of these questions necessarily are about evidence, since evidence only really tries to portray that one is right over the other, but in this case we're just having completely subjective opinions, so evidence isn't necessarily necessary. You can still bring up things like other series, you can still bring up examples from series. We're not exactly going to have to fact check you on it unless something sounds egregiously wrong, but either way, it will go into the idea of whether or not you necessarily need to know how to power skill in order to be a good debater, or you need to be a good debater in order to power skill. Oh, and she can banish you to an endless selection of mazes. Can it be about anything power scaling related? Yes, it can be about anything power scaling related. We'll ask very vague questions that, again, usually boil down to opinions. They can be inverse related. What I mean by this, this is just an example, by the way. Another example could be inverse related questions. Inverse related questions, such as, for example, what's a good example of this? I had one for this. For example, is Luffy truly immune to blunt force trauma, right? Again, stuff that you don't necessarily need to pull out massive amounts of like evidence for or anything like that. It's more so, can you develop an argument that's better than your opponent? Does Haki work out of the verse? Does Kurozu work outside of the verse? What the fuck's Kurozu? Stuff like that, right? So, yeah. I think, well, would you be willing to debate? No research, no prior research. To test your debate skills. Test your debate skills. stream. Other questions could be, for example, should we use composite characters? Should we primarily use composite characters? Or should we stick to specific versions of versions? Another question could be this. I had one in the tip of my tongue just now. Should we only use the manga for scaling, right? Again, questions that are inherently entirely subjective. But did you find the Minato Lightspeed statement in the second Databook glossary? I found it the other day and I could send it. I would really appreciate it if you could send it, or you could at least, like, let me know how I could look for it. Yes. No. Yes, I would participate. Yes. No. Yes, I would participate. No, I wouldn't. I'm at least interested in Urameshi? Okay. Where should I send it? Here, do me a favor. I will put up a Discord link. You can just post... I'll put up a Discord link for, our second... I'll put up a Discord link for our, second, channel, or second Discord server. We will... Let's edit the invite link. Expires after 7 days. I'll just do expires after an hour, and then, I'll just have, like, 5 users. Generate link. Copy. Here. You can just post it here. You can't... you probably can't link it to chat. You can just join the server and then just post it, and I'll be able to see it. Is the stream lagging for you guys? Let's check out the stream health. It says it's healthy, but just in case. Okay. Let me close my door as well. Okay. Ugh. Boost the server? Fuck no, I'm not doing that. Okay. So if you guys are down to participate, please let me know. If you guys want, we can do like a beta test for it today. We can just see how it works. But I'm more interested in grounding the Narutoverse in terms of speed, to be honest. I truly believe that there are no light speed feats. Now I just have to prove it. I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. I think there are light speed feats. I just don't think that they're as impressive as anything in One Piece, personally. But, again, it's all up to opinion at the end of the day. If you don't think so, I don't know, man. Always the comparison game. Okay. One of which, you got the 5 Kage. I'll take Luffy right out of the barrel. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Solda Doalax? I'll call you Solda. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. I'm down for debates. Depends on who we're debating, though. Well, the actual person debating doesn't necessarily... Again, you don't have to necessarily worry about, like, your opponent being ready or anything, or about your opponent doing anything specific. It's more so just about you both presenting your opinions and then giving each other, ample time to just have a back and forth within the moment. Whatever you prefer. Hey, lovely. Thank you, man. Well, welcome to our stream. We're just trying to test out a potential new form of content that we can make for the channel. I'm really excited in seeing if this works. I'm 10 seconds late because of net, but when it comes to Naruto speed, I legit don't care compared to One Piece. I just want it to make more sense. Oh, no. Of course. Debating for me is just an avenue for dialectical, where you both sides actually learn. Any other way is a waste of time. I agree. What's up, Rennie? I agree. It should be here. The point of these conversations is to just open up a bit of room for a conversation to be had. It's more so. Oh, you sent it on Discord. Beautiful. Ah, fantastic. The Minato. Fuck. The also wasn't translated, so I found this too. Fantastic. I don't have anything like that. I don't have anything like that. The only issue I have with this Minato statement, and I can't use it. Fantastic. The only issue I have with the Minato statement specifically is just that the Minato statement doesn't necessarily... The Minato statement doesn't necessarily... It doesn't specify what jutsu or what technique allows him to have a light speed blade, but I do appreciate it. Real name. They skipped a lot towards the end. Got you. So, would you guys be willing to try this out today? Or would you guys be down to do it some other time? I'm down to try it out for now. If any of you want to do it, I have a couple of different topics here that we can talk about. Admirals versus Yonko. Strongest. Can you tell us what the Yu-Gi-Oh debates in the video entail? The Yu-Gi-Oh debates in this video, at least from where I took it, specifically just entailed normal conversations about the current state of the game.
Gigantic Dawn on, or vice versa. You guys can take it away.
So, for example, right here. I'll just show you guys the video.
Stay in the game.
Yes.
Alright, just to confirm, Flux Cap, you believe that Ash Blossom should be banned?
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, with the Yu-Gi-Oh one, right here he said, do you believe that Ash Blossom should be banned? Ash Blossom in Yu-Gi-Oh is a card that essentially stops opponents from adding a card from their deck to their hand, sending a card from the deck to the graveyard, or summoning a monster from the deck to the field, right? It's a card that, at least within the context of Yu-Gi-Oh, not sure if you guys know this, but in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a card that has been very over-centralizing for a long time now. There are metas where it hasn't worked, there are metas where it worked. Again, none of these people are bringing in any kind of evidence. They're not, a lot of what they're talking about is rhetoric, but they're still having a back and forth where they end up talking about, where they end up covering specific points that, again, from a debater's perspective, from a debate perspective, are actually, I would say, moderately well constructed, decently well, not even moderately, decently well constructed arguments.
Flux Cap. Alright, just to confirm, Flux Cap, you believe
Let me give you guys another example. Here's the next one.
Debate topic number 2.
Right.
Interactive hand traps. Good or bad?
Right, so interactive hand traps, good or bad, and then they have a back and forth about it. Would you see possible for Oda to introduce Logia Awakenings? If so, how do you think they would work? Logia Awakenings are actually kind of interesting because we have seen that Awakenings through Paramecias and Awakenings for some specific Zoans, in this case we really only know Luffy, potentially Emu, considering the effects that happened on the island of Elbaf recently, but I'm not going to go too far into that. They are capable of affecting their environment like many Paramecias. Most Paramecia users seem to be able to affect their environment to an extent, such as Katakuri or Doflamingo, turning their environment into Mochi or strings, but there are also awakenings like Kid and Law that essentially allow them to affect different objects or concepts with their devil fruits. For example, Law is able to send room outwardly, Kid to another location. Kid is able to create a railgun that essentially shoots all of the magnetic force, and he's also capable of assigning specific people or objects that may not necessarily have a magnetic force applied to them already. Have you seen the Emu's official colors yet? They're apparently dropped. I'm gonna just wait on those. I'm just gonna wait on those for a couple of weeks. I'm not necessarily interested in whether or not what Emu's colors are going to be. The Naruto moment is Mabui's transportation jutsu. People take damage when moving at light speed, so anyone other than those who can heal can never be light speed if not taking damage is as simple as that. Just story. Fair enough. So going back to the conversation about awakenings, I would say that a Logia awakening would likely be somewhere to the same effect, maybe on a larger scale, maybe turning the entirety of the environment into said object, or maybe affecting the weather and their surroundings almost like a domain expansion, in the sense of simply manipulating everything around them, or flash freezing, burning, turning everything into light, maybe turning everything into darkness. We're not sure yet. Also, how do you judge a character's speed? Judging a character's speed can often depend on statements and quantifiable feats. Statements, for the most part, especially if we're going by as far as anime goes, usually can be limited many of the times to just simply being somewhere around the realm of light speed. Light speed is actually a very big benchmark for a lot of series, which is why I tend to focus on it so much, because some series enter light speed, other series don't. But the usual defining feature between a verse and another is whether or not, at least as far as power scaling or versus battle goes, whether or not the verse is light speed, faster than light, or slower than the speed of light. Some verses treat light speed as an absolute rule, sort of like the laws of relativity, which means that which may mean that, for example, light speed is the raw cap of the verse. There are other verses like Naruto where light speed is a soft cap, where the characters can potentially be faster than the speed of light, but in general, they are seen as nothing. Most characters in the verse still have some level of limitation, where jutsus and abilities might be at best light speed, but nothing more than that. And then you have series like One Piece, where light speed is nothing more than just a little benchmark that is easily surpassable, and most characters, or at least a vast majority of characters, or not even a vast majority, but a vast majority of combat-based characters are capable of easily surpassing it to some extent. Let's go to Esther. How you doing? Maybe Enios Lobby, the island which is eternal day, is the result of Kizaru's fruit awakening. That would be interesting, though I'm not sure if I would be okay with that, only because Kizaru's devil fruit works specifically with light. I understand the concept because it's always daylight out in, but I don't know if Kizaru's light necessarily works the same as like a sun. You know what I mean? In base with ACOG boost, I would actually buff up that number a couple of zeros, but yeah, I can agree. The 27, I can agree to that. I would probably toss in about 2 more zeros in there though, personally. But yeah. Okay, so, if you guys would be interested in this, would you guys be willing to try this out today? Would anybody be willing to try this out? Would anyone be willing to debate to test their debate skills today? You have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable being on a mic. Yeah. Yep. We can't do it like that. Well, it's fun. Just lowball to show how fodder inverse is. With the new meta of using 3D2Y, you can add so many zeros. Correct. Yes. No. Maybe later. Maybe later. Which is, I think, is fine. Kizaru naturally debunks that number. Not necessarily. I would not necessarily argue that, but I think that's still a fair perspective to have. Any character that we see can't be faster in light because we always see them moving. Is 3D2Y canon? From one of our last streams, we've come to the conclusion that it can be considered canon to the anime. isn't much of a new meta, though. I've been hearing Kruos use it since, like, 2022. I mean, a meta that's still, like, actually, a meta that's about 4 years old, especially, like, at internet time, is actually pretty old. You're right. You're right. I can give you that. I can 100% give you that. What's up, Aster? What's up, One Smart? So, if you guys would be down to do that, I'm doing good. One Smart. Hope you're doing good as well. So, we're testing out, I'll also save this. Let's save this to Naruto docs, library. We're gonna go to Naruto, data book, and then we'll just do, oh, this is a JPEG. Cool. Minato, Lightspeed, Raw. Bro, I started rereading 100-Year Quest yesterday. Why did you start rereading it? I thought you didn't like it. At that point, you're just doing it to yourself, my guy. And today I woke up with a really high fever. I'm convinced this series is unironically consuming my soul. See, but okay, but again, you said it right here. You started rereading it, which means that to some extent you're either gooning to it, you're doing it for the sake of gooning, or you're doing it just to, like, again, have it consume your soul. I don't know what to tell you, my guy. I don't know what to tell you, Aster. That just sounds Eon doxing Naruto? Not necessarily. Kizaru was literally shown to accelerate past, and even said acceleration is power. That's why Kizaru Zolos. I'm up for debating once my food is done, for sure. So I'm gonna put another invite to server for you guys. Let's edit the link. We'll put it for about 6 hours. We'll do like 10 uses that way, and we'll only do like 2 or 3 of these. We'll do as many as possible. We'll only do like 2 or 3 of these. Again, they don't have to be toxic. They don't have to be anything crazy. You don't even need evidence. It's just about presenting an idea and just testing out your debate skills. If you guys are more than willing to, just let me know, and then just show up on the server right here. Just show up on the waiting room, right here. Beautiful. Some of you guys are already popping up, and then I will be in this chat right here. I will show up to this general chat. Do not just pop into the chat yet. I will let you in one at a time. So that way you guys can present your points. So has Kaido been power cliffed? Kaido versus Luffy. Elbath. Would Kizaru have won? Stuff like this, right? We can also add it to different conversations. We can also throw in, again, this is all entirely opinion-based. You do not need, under any circumstance, to actually pull up evidence. It's more so about just who can develop the better argument. Again, it's just about the mate. So you found the light scan. Where was it from? It was from apparently the, let's see their name. I forgot what their name was. Real name. They were able to find it. It was from the Data Book 2 glossary. They were very much, kind enough to send me the raw scan. Although, once again, I'll take the Kaido power cliffing one. Now, out of these topics, by the way, if you guys have any broad topics of conversations that you are willing to have yes, it is the Melee Fox profile picture. Yes. If you guys are willing to do any of these, I'd love to, but it's too late here in Spain. You're from Spain, Soldado. Soldado Alax. Okay, Soldado Alax. That's why. I was having such a hard time reading that because I'm having my English brain right now. Sorry about that. Soldado. First of all, I hope you're doing good, by the way. Love Spain. I went there last year for the summer. Absolutely beautiful country. The Spanish people are so absolutely lovely, very kind. It's also very nice to go to a country where they speak Spanish. Really does help work through it. But yeah. The Kizaru glaze never fails. Here's one that I would also like to talk about. Was Kizaru mentally nerfed? Would Kizaru win? Would Kizaru beat Luffy without the mental nerf? Okay. Also, who can post the 3D 2Y evidence? I can look for it later, Rennie, on stream if you want to, but for now, are there any topics that anybody here would like to discuss? We can also, if you guys have anything, any like broad conversations that you guys would also like to talk about as far as Naruto, Bleach, etc., you're more than willing to ask the question. And if anyone would like to take up the opposite end of the argument, you're more than welcome to. What topics would you guys like to cover? Oh no, we're having a bit of an issue. What's up, Michael? So what is the context of the Minato statement? From what I recall, specifically from Sage's stream, it specifically says that it is a light speed slash is specifically used, but it doesn't specify a jutsu, a technique, or whether or not Minato himself can swing his blade at light speed. So honestly, I have no fucking clue. There's no exact context for it. I would gladly debate that Kizaru would win against Luffy without the nerf. Okay, does anybody want to take, we can use yours first if you want, since it's already late, of course he was, it's easy to say, killing your friend. Would anybody like to take, is Big Mom the weakest Yonko? We can also, was Big Mom the weakest Yonko is also a good one. Let's, remove these for now. Was Big Mom the weakest Yonko? Ooh. Was Big Mom the weakest Yonko? Does anybody think Kizaru without the mental nerf would still lose against Luffy? Did Eon ever surpass the calculator? I surpassed it a long time ago, Esther. No need to ask me that right now. Let's see. If anybody join up. Yeah, we got a couple more people. Lovely. Jen, what does Buggy do? Alright. So, does anybody want to take the positive end of the discussion? Does anybody want to debate that Luffy would have still beaten Kizaru without the mental nerf? He's just screaming and creaming and somehow got to a Yonko status. Well, he worked his way up, right? Buggy clearly lost. Buggy clearly failed upwards. Shanks versus Mihawk is also a good one. Shanks versus Mihawk. I don't think Kizaru lost to Luffy in the first place, not gonna lie. Okay, that's fair. I'm assuming that you all seem to be on the same end of the conversation. Does anybody want to argue Shanks versus Mihawk? Where do you scale Usopp now then? The anime showed us Luffy and Verjamba joining forces to beat a lie, and Luffy saying Usopp could have beaten it on his own. Well, I'm sure Usopp would have required a bit more than that, but I think he would still scale somewhere to them. Because he doesn't necessarily have to scale equally to them, he just has to scale enough to defeat the giant cat on his own. What's good, Drachno? What's up, Michael Dorsey? The link is there if you guys want to join up the stream, if you guys want to join up for the any of these debates. We can also push this for a separate day if you guys would be down to, but otherwise, I'm probably going to work on my script if nobody wants to take up any two ends of either of these arguments. Also, verse equalization. Luffy will still win against Kizaru even if Kizaru has a mental amp. Sailor, would you be down to do a debate for this? Would you be down to just discuss the points? Again, you don't need to provide evidence. It's more so just for us to flex our debate skills. If you guys would like to debate a bit more, you are more than welcome to. You are more than welcome to actually join through and then have this discussion. All right. Let's see. I'm down for a Shanks versus Kaido, Mihawk, or Kaido a power cliff one. I take Mihawk / Kaido hasn't been power cliffed. Okay. Does anybody, if anybody is down to have the opposite end for any of these arguments, you're more than willing to debate Malevolent on this. I'm still cooking, otherwise I debate. Okay, take your time then, Drake. Would you guys also like to push this on for like a little bit later so we can have this discussion, or no? Let me see. Meanwhile, I'm still working on this script for Kaido. I think we'll just be reading some Blue Lock in the meantime until one of you guys is down to do this. So yeah, I've been meaning to check out these new chapters for these series. So yeah, let's just go through. If you were to slip behind the defense at a speed of 20 miles an hour, none can erase the Kizaru glaze. Mihawk is beating Shanks' ass. Black Yoshi, would you like to debate that? Would you like to debate Mihawk beating Shanks, or would anybody like to debate him? Killer can beat Doflamingo can be another one? Oh yeah, Killer versus Doflamingo. Killer versus Dofi. That's a pretty good one. Thank you, Soldado. I appreciate that. If Luffy didn't have to save Vegapunk, he wouldn't have wasted stamina chasing the Light the whole fight. Ohm's law. Would you like to put that up to the test? Again, we're not asking you guys to have scans ready. We're not asking. It's more so just an impromptu debate, just to test your debate skills. My only argument is that I like Mihawk. I'm gonna keep it a $1.50. Hey, listen, it's not about if anyone agrees with you. It's more so about who here just thinks you made the better argument. That's all you need to do. If you want to bring up the Black Blade, you can bring up the Black Blade. You could say that Shanks is a hockey man, even if he uses or a swordsman, even if he wants to. Mihawk is technically a hockey man too, for all we damn well know. You know what I mean? If you were to slip behind the defense at 20 miles an hour, then with a pass speed of at least 20 feet per second, you can go like this and this and this. Do you understand? Luffy's stamina is still pretty short, I think. Fair enough. It seems like you guys might actually be willing to do this. It's freaking impossible? No way, man. Do you always think this hard about soccer while playing? Is this calculation or intuition? You're nuts, Hugo, huh? Isn't this normal for everyone? No way, you soccer freak. You're out there, man. Run through it again. Mentally nerfed, by the way. Let me eat and I'm down to debate. For sure, for sure. Shanks is a hockey not merchant? True. Oh, you don't get it. He's seeking what would make him suitable to win the World Cup 4 times. First, an environment, a coach, a team, and a trustworthy relationship where I can thrive as second best. Finally, I just need a world-class striker. Noel No is almost 30. Even if we won the World Cup for France, we could only do it once or twice. I need a number 1. Vivien Hugo proceeds undaunted. He still needs to refine the people he needs to achieve his dreams. No, you're half a second too slow. You can't become the world's best like that. Do you understand? I ain't your tool, got it? I don't give a shit about your ideas. I'm the striker here, and you're arrogant, manipulative bastard. Sorry I overestimated you. You're a disposable middle-grade striker who's more suitable for being around 1/30th in the world. What? Vivien Hugo learns that creatures known as strikers are absolute egotists. You lack the talent, that's all. Hey, coach. Could we change out all these people? An unknown life form. Our new player is advancing from a lower level to join this team. This is Julien Loki. Please excuse my actions earlier. While I'm alive, I'm going to win a World Cup a few times, so please leave if you can't keep up. Let's have fun. Who is this guy? The arrogance, the gallantry, the absurdity. This organism is a born number 1. I just don't see how anyone's entertained reading this shit. Hey, man, listen. Blue Lock is pretty damn good when you get to, like, the absurdity and the egotism of it. I don't know, man. Gear 5 Luffy can't do shit to Kizaru, let alone Gear 4 Luffy and all of its variations. You guys seem like you guys are willing to have a debate about this. Would you guys be down? The world sure is cruel. The talentless can never beat the talented. Cold over hot. In terms of what? The weather? Because I disagree. That's another one we could do. Hot weather versus cold weather. Who'd want to debate that? The talentless can never beat the talented. But our free society brutally spurs them on to try anyway. That's the harsh rule of the world. Yeah, at the end of the day, the talented and the talentless can never understand each other. All I want to do is win the World Cup 4 times, though. What? That's so fire. I bet you're dead serious about that, huh? Yeah, big time. I've never met anyone with a dream as adorably tyrannical as mine. Okay. I think Kizaru... Would you guys be willing to take this, would you guys be willing to take this live right now? Because we're more than welcome to do so. The Discord link is up in the pinned comments, so you guys, team 0 degrees Celsius, nor cold, no warm. That's still fucking cold, bruh. That's still very cold. I don't see how anyone can think Big Mom is the weakest Yonko. It's, isn't the weakest Yonko. It's pretty clear. Could Frieza win an American presidency? Honestly, at this rate, I think he might be capable of. To be fair, though, all he really has to do is just threaten the entirety of the planet. I think he would probably just win off of that. You guys realize Luffy wasn't trying to beat Kizaru, only stall. Loki's moving back, and Hugo's moving forward. Are we doing that, Hugo? Cross breeze. Both wings are closing in on the middle. What the hell is this unique team play? Yeah. Beep beep, shortcut found. Okay, loophole dribble. What? The other pass course were decoys. He's going in on his own. There's still a pass com. Keep an eye on the wings. All we've got to do is crush the guy calling the shots. It's destined. Preparations are complete. Loki from behind. Shit. Is this what they were after? They got us cluttered in the midfield. So these two could strike from behind. Zoom. Warp. Synchronicity. No, I can just make it. I need to tackle him, even if it means getting a foul. Huh? Speeding up without looking for the pass, running at 23 miles per second with a backspin pass at 28 feet per second. That's the suitability to be the world's best. Vivienne Hugo knows that the combination of his talent with Julian Loki's is the sort of rarity that comes once in 50 years. A pinpoint pass to a spot nobody could reach, even if they saw it, as Loki runs in tandem at his maximum speed for a joint finisher. The best and second best. I know what they're doing, but I still can't stop them. This is the pure violence of talented. Holy shit, they already scored. Goal! Thus Vivian Loki's dreams of changing soccer history and creating a legend. Good. Holy shit. What are we doing today, 6? Well, I was hoping to have people join in on stream. I watched the video on YouTube from one of my preferred Yu-Gi-Oh streamers nowadays. Farfa essentially made a stream where he had his community essentially debate on stream, but they were essentially debating just to see who could create the better argument for the topics of conversation that they were having. And I think that creating a broad network of conversations, such as these conversations that you don't necessarily need to power scale for, more so just develop an argument for, since a lot of them are essentially still very much so, a lot of them are still very much so up in the air. One can argue either or. I think that it would be fun. Manga fans would deadass hype up a double spread of someone putting detergent in their washing machine. I'm crying. That's funny. So I just want to see if anybody here would like to test out their debate skills. They're more than willing to do it. They're more than welcome to do it. But I would like it if they could do it up on stream. On their own. Ganfall and Garb both said that if you don't have a clear mind, you can't fight at your 100%. Even if Kizaru was settled to kill Vegapunk reluctantly, his mind wasn't at his best. Thus, those who doubt are weak. That's a fair point. That is a very fair point. Let's check out the new chapter for these guys. What's actually happening? I don't know. Say that one more time. What's happening here? I don't know. I haven't really read this series that much, so I'm just looking at pictures. They're flying. They're bringing them up. Whoa, a goddess. Wings. I would presume so. Okay. Okay, we lost them, but how about how's Lancelot? We're flying so hard, maybe we lost him. No need to worry. Just tell me how Percy's doing, sleeping like a baby. He sustained a cut. Sure. Purifying Star. That was a nice snap. Who were those guys? Didn't seem like Arthur's Holy Knights. The Knights of the Holy Grail. Was that the name? I've heard of them. Yeah. They hid their phases, but even wasn't unnerved. I don't care. Yeah. Haha, I need to find a suitable partner first. Wait. What about Yuga? Wait, what's happening? Like the social misfits, we could find popular with the ladies. She's 4 years younger than me. What was that? Never mind. What about Yuga? Way? Like maybe a man strong and muscly is ballin'. Not that I'm saying I'm okay with ballin'. Okay, yeah, she's definitely okay with ballin'. You know Galahad? Okay. Okay. His name is Galahad. Cool. Said in statement, Ganfell applies literally the next film. I'll debate a normal human versus Goku. 7 deadly felonies. The real versus debates. 1, 2, 3s versus ABCs. Okay. So, anybody down for this now or not? I can just always push this idea for maybe like another day throughout the week. It doesn't have to be today. Do you guys want to do this today or no? Want to debate today on any of the topics? Yes or no? Let's check it out. Nanami reaffirmed it. These types of hockey don't matter if Luffy form in a form that drains his energy quickly. Kizaru is in no condition faster, so he can Okay, there's no conditions. Why am I having so many issues? Let me recheck the, thank goodness Eon missed my first comment. Said statements about one fall. I'm down, but no one else wants to. Okay, just establish real quick what positions you guys are willing to have. I'm down to debate for Shanks. Okay, so you're down to debate for Shanks. First of all, let's join the Discord server. Okay, let's join the Discord server, please. So here's what we're going to do first. Anyone who would like to do this, first join the Discord server here. Now, if you're in the Discord server, I want you to put right here, which position do you want to join? Which positions do you want to take, right? Okay. Hey, what's up, Black Yoshi? Hey, what's up, Black Yoshi?
Hey, what's up?
I'm gonna mute you for now, just to just to figure out who your opponent's gonna be. You're more than welcome to. English isn't my favorite language, though I'm very confident on my vocabulary and grammar. My accent is a different issue. That said, I think I would be good at debating. You're more than welcome to join. I can also help clarify. We'll do like about 3 to 5 points each. We'll do about 3 to 5 points each, and then we'll just set up a we shall set up a poll so that chat can decide who was the better debater. So, if you're down for it, you're more than welcome to just join the chat right now. Our first debate will be Mihawk versus Shanks. Anybody who would like to argue for Shanks can join the Discord server. The link expired. Let's try that one more time. I'll put up a new link. Let's do this. Not 10 users. We'll just put no limit. Copy. Let's post it again. And then we will unpin this one, and we'll pin the new one. I'll take Dax, Tom, McDonald's, or KSI over any of your... There's no way you're putting KSI as one of your favorite artists. You're out of your fucking mind. Anyway. Anyway. Probably should have something more contentious than Shanks versus Mihawk since it's not even close. Well, that's the point. There's no thing to go off of. It's about who can develop a better argument. You can have whatever opinion you want on it. You can promote whatever end you want on it. But all I'm asking for right now is somebody who wants to debate for Shanks. I'm dead as fucking cankling just typing it, bro. Alright. Alright. Yes, you can enter. If you want to, you can enter the stream. All you have to do is let us know what your position is as you join in, and then I'll unmute Black Yoshi. Again, you don't need evidence. You don't need to put up scans. It's just about who can develop a better argument. I think Charles entered first, so Charles, I think we'll go with Charles first. Sorry, Marcos. There's plenty of other topics of conversation that we have here set up. So,
no issue.
Yeah, so for now, Charles, Marcos, for now, if you could just leave the call, and then you can come back in afterwards to do any of the other ones. Okay, so let me unmute Yoshi, and Charles, you can unmute if you want.
Yo.
How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Lovely, lovely. I'm happy you're having a good day. What about you, Charles?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna raise your voice just a tad bit since it seems to be a little low. Don't worry about it. I'll raise it on my end. Okay, so I'll give you guys about 3 to 4 chances to 3 to 4, maybe 5 chances, maybe 6 or 7. I'm just kidding. I'll give you guys some chances to essentially provide your claim, give some argumentation, and then you guys will have like maybe 2 or 3 chances to like just tackle each other's arguments. I'll try to just make sure that the debate stays centered around a specific topic, and then we'll put up a poll on chat. Now, for chat, here's what I want you guys to do. Who had the better argument? It's not going to be about who you agree with. Even if you think that Shanks beats Mihawk or Mihawk beats Shanks, it's not about who you think wins, chats. It's about who you agree with. It's about who made the better argument. Let me just type in your names right here. Charles and Yoshi. Okay, or I guess I'll just put Black since your name is Black on the Discord server, and then you guys can take it away. Yoshi, I think you can go first since you joined first.
Okay. So my first argument for why Mihawk beats Shanks is because he's the greatest swordsman. Like, it's stated numerous times that he is the greatest swordsman.
Uh-huh. Is that your?
I can keep going.
Yeah.
I can keep going.
Express your full thought first. Express your full thought first, and then we'll let Charles go.
Okay. So I believe the only other character in One Piece to have a black blade was Ryuma, and he was considered like the best swordsman at the time, and Mihawk being the second one that we know of to have a black blade. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna super wank Mihawk for just a second. So you know how Zoro can like comically go into other verses, like, you know, stuff like that. Like if he was in Fate or something, like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a meme, but like if I wanted to wake him, like if that's Zoro's real ability, if he's in a place with somebody with a sword, then Mihawk would like upscale that.
Okay.
But that's like super wank. That's like, you know, that's
Yeah. Charles.
But
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No. That's basically it.
Okay. Charles.
Well, this is pretty awkward. I thought I read in the YouTube thing that you were taking Shanks, so we have the same position.
Oh yeah, you guys have the same position. No.
I'm defending Shanks.
Yeah, the original idea was to defend Shanks. That's why I was a little confused when you said Mihawk over Shanks.
Oh my god.
It's fine.
I'm a little cooked, but like I got you.
It's fine.
Alright, so for Shanks, right?
Yeah. Oh, you want to do Shanks instead, Black?
I can do Shanks instead.
Okay, so
like I do like the characters, bro.
Let's do this. You've already presented your argument for Mihawk. Charles, since you have other topics, would you want to swap out? Maybe anybody would want to do Shanks instead.
Yeah, if anybody wants to do Shanks, that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Could you step out of chat for a second? Marcos, would you still like to do an argument for Shanks or no? You're more than welcome to join in and just go in for your argument if you'd like. We'll get the hang of this. Don't worry, guys. This is just the first time, sort of like a trial period. We can have more more of these conversations through and through as the weeks go by. I also was thinking about just turning this into a video if enough people are down for it. But yeah. Let's see. Sorry, Hockey Man doesn't have me in his hockey hands.
I love your work, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. You want to step in for Shanks, Nana? Okay. Just click the Discord link and then you can just join up. I debate for Shanks on why he wins against Mihawk. It's first come, first serve. Anyone who wants to join in first, as soon as I see you on the general chat pop up here in the live chat, you're more than welcome to just do it. You just have to click the Discord link. What's good, Lapis? How are you doing, man? Mihawk paints so good that they both agreed. All right. Man, you gotta love that hockey black paint. It's got that special, nice little lacquer. You know, it negates devil fruit abilities. You know what I'm saying?
You know, he taught Luffy that. You know?
Yeah, he taught Luffy exactly. That's how Luffy and everybody else started having the black coating around their arms. They were all like, you know what? It's the world's strongest swordsman, the best one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he took out that golden paint, painted it on the bat, and then threw it back at the Gorosei. That was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. You see, you got it. I was kind of surprised they made the bat yellow though. I was hoping that they would make the bat black. You know, it would just have added so much more credence to Mihawk painting his blade. That would have been so funny. Maybe he had a devil fruit. Yeah, maybe it could be a devil fruit too. You never know. Miss Golden Week is the provider. I'm crying. Ask him what it means for Mihawk being the strongest swordsman. I'm going to push it further. Mihawk is over Roger, Rocks, and Whitebeard. All right. Well, I guess...
Honestly, I might be with them.
Drake, would you like to pop in right now, or no? Or Nana, are you ready? You've been good. Finals. I'm going to... Would you guys like to do a separate debate for now until we get some people to go in for Shanks? We could do a different topic. I see that Charles here says Kaido hasn't been power cliffed. Kizaru wins an actual fight versus Luffy and Egghead, and pineapple does belong on pizza. Does any
every one of those? That's crazy.
Here.
Drake?
If I will defend Shanks.
You will defend Shanks? Lovely, lovely, beautiful. Okay, let me just raise up your volume just a tad bit, and you can go whenever you want and try and defend Shanks's argument.
Alright, so there is no denying that Mihawk is the greatest swordsman in the world. This isn't about, like, you know, who has the fancier title.
Right.
This is all about power, what their own personal power is.
Right.
And I believe that Shanks has a vastly stronger level of hockey
Yeah.
compared to Mihawk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of like, you have two people who are very good at what they do, but they have their own methods of using it. So, I believe that that is what makes Shanks more powerful than Mihawk.
Okay. So Black, would you like to counter his argument in any way?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
You know how Oda is like really good at doing show don't tell? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he'll show a character off like Shanks, show him how strong he is, and then later on you're gonna see how strong another character is, and he like power clips that other character. We've seen Shanks' hockey. We've seen what Shanks can do. We still haven't seen anything from me. So that just makes me believe more, like whatever he's gonna do is gonna be more impressive than what Shanks displayed.
And that will be my counter argument in the sense that until we see more of what Mihawk can do, I can't confidently say that he's stronger than Shanks. And at the same time, we can also say that Shanks' capability of, his strength could possibly be elevated even further as things goes along. But from what we've seen in the sense of what he did against Green Bull, what he did against Kid, those are like the two showings of like just how strong he is, considering he was able to one-shot Kid, who was able to take on the likes of Kaido and Big Mom. So in the sense in the sense that like in this case it shows just how powerful Shanks is if he's able to one-shot someone who already was able to hold his own against two Yonko.
Okay. So just
and he's doing.
Hold on. So just to clarify, right? Your position, Black, is that Mihawk is considered the world's greatest swordsman. He is the only character other than Ryuma to unlock a hockey black blade. And essentially, because of Oda's show don't tell, Mihawk is currently still being saved for late into the series so we can see what he's truly capable of, right? Just to like, as a generalized argument, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I was actually going to go back to the Black Blade point.
Okay, and just for Drake, just to clarify, your argument is that we haven't seen enough of Mihawk. Shanks has been consistently showed and implied to fight against Yonko level threats already, and Shanks should just have stronger hockey than Mihawk, right? That's
correct.
Okay, so just to clarify, those are your points. All right, you may continue, Black.
Okay, so all those feats you just named for Shanks, he's doing all that, like, it's crazy feats and everything, but he's doing all that with a regular blade. You know? Like, we've only seen Zoro use, like...
Sorry. It's yeah. I can't help but laugh because it is the Black Blade argument. I'm sorry. as you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, no. I was low-key laughing too. But, so Shanks doesn't have a black blade, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all those feats that he was doing that without a black blade. Mihawk does have a black blade. So theoretically, he should be able to do just as much or more. Ryuma is another person with a black blade. We've seen Zoro use the sword, but like we don't know if Zoro's been using the sword to its full capability because he can't produce a black blade on his own. It's only like the highest and like strongest swordsman, you know? So basically my point is anything Shanks has done, he's done it with like a regular blade, even though he's encoding that blade in hockey, like he did against Kid or, I don't know, any of the few people he fought. That's my argument.
Okay. Drake,
Okay.
would you like to...
But again, this isn't solely about, like, a black blade is strong. There's no denying that it's strong considering what it entails. Because it is obviously one of the more advanced forms of, like, what armored hockey can do. And it's clearly something that's dedicated to people who are swordsmen. Like, to swordsmen. But that doesn't mean, like, all swordsmen... Does that mean just because you can't achieve a black blade means you're a trash swordsman? No. And in the end, like, this doesn't mean that Shanks is a trash swordsman. He's still a skilled swordsman who's still capable of using hockey in, very much the highest degrees of, like, power and scaling that we've seen. And Mihawk in the past has said that, like, they have had multiple duels. And again, while we can't be certain on how these duels played out or what time of their lives and when and what skill, it doesn't seem like in any sense that there was any conclusive winner, at least in those details. And also, again, this isn't like this is a swords duel. This is not like a duel where they're just claying blades. This is like, okay, we're having them use their full power sets. How well do they work? And so far, we've seen a lot of like what Shanks can do, in the sense that he must have future sight, considering we know that he was able to predict the devastation that Kid would do. And very few people in One Piece is confirmed to have future sight. Like, you could probably count that like on like 1.5 hands kind of situation.
Okay. So
and yeah, that's a big factor to include.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there for you guys. I think you both brought up some interesting points. Now, guys, here's what I want to do for chat. Here's what I want chat to do. Please, please, please try to be as reasonable about this. I want you guys to simply choose who you think had the better argument, the better structured argument, whose logic you think was overall more sound. I want you guys to vote for that, not who you agree with. If you think that Mihawk wins, but you think Drake did a better argument for Shanks, vote on that. If you think that Shanks wins, but you feel like Black had a better argument, then vote for Black, right? It's not about who you agree with, it's about who you think had the better argument. Okay, we'll put it up. Thank you both for showing up, by the way. I really do appreciate it. Sometimes these impromptu debates might be a little rough. If you guys would like to come back for another one of these afterwards, you guys are more than welcome to.
I'm fine with doing these kinds of things.
Yeah. These
Yeah,
are
thank you
fun.
for having me on.
Yeah, for sure.
Your content still. I know I keep saying that, but I just love your content.
I appreciate it.
It really does make my day, bro.
I really do appreciate it. And it seems right now that currently out of 11 out of 27 concurrent viewers, so far agree that Black had the better overall argument. Oh wait, no, we're dead 50-50 right now. We're dead 50-50. Yeah, we'll leave it up for a couple of seconds, but yeah, I think that this is one of those like topics of conversation where like we'll only get some level of conversation if we actually get to see feats from Mihawk. I think that's like the part so far that regardless of whether or not one agrees or believes that either side is stronger, it definitely does seem like, at least as far as my opinion goes, it will seem advantageous for the both of us. Okay. I think that overall it is an interesting topic of conversation just to cover as a whole. You guys know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I 100% agree, because Mihawk doesn't do shit.
Yeah,
Like,
Mihawk hasn't done shit. All right.
It's just uniforms. Like,
It's like this. Mihawk is supposed to be Zoro's final challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be just purely on power. It's also skill in a sense.
Yeah.
Not that, like it's not like Zoro's gonna just drop his swords and punch him down. He's gonna have to beat him blade to blade.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like with Mihawk, it just if they have a blade, it's just Mihawk upscale. It doesn't matter who it is. If there's a blade, it's Mihawk upscale.
that Trunks got a sword? That's a Mihawk upset.
Yeah, does Trunks have a black blade? I'm sorry, I guess Trunks solos Frieza. I'm sorry, Mihawk solos Frieza. Sorry to say this. All right. So far it seems to be a 50-50. I think that shows pretty good on both of you guys' side. I think we'll just leave it there for now, but thank you guys both for joining, and if there's any other debate that you guys would like to join to, please be sure to come back in.
Oh, I probably will.
Okay, so let me just test something out. Let me just test something out, because it says right here I can disconnect, and I wasn't sure if I can like remove people from or to the chat, and they can come back in and out. So let me just test this out to see. Disconnect. Are you still? And I think you guys should still be within the context of the server. Okay. But thank you guys for joining. Okay. Next up. Any other conversations? What are the? Yes, the debates are predetermined. It's just all extremely subjective stuff. You don't need to provide evidence, Lapis. If anybody would like to come in, it's just a quick 3 to 4 point back and forth. Yeah. I'll just take some stuff in between so that you guys, and I'll just take a moment in between so that you guys can so like really rationalize you guys' points so you guys know exactly what to tackle. So, okay, before you guys join up, let me just disconnect you real quick. Okay, what is the topic of conversation that we want to cover now? I think it's really good that we ended it off on a 50-50, so yeah, it's a solid 50-50. I think that's wonderful. I think that's absolutely lovely. Let's move on to the next debate. Kaido has been power cliffed. And, Stans, I said okay, so Marcos and, Charles, you guys can both join back in. Sorry, I disconnected you guys. Since you guys already seem to know what you guys want to, debate on. Google versus my ramp. All right. Can you guys join back in? Okay, yeah, you guys are seemingly can join back in. So, Marcos, whenever you're ready, you can also join in. Sorry if I disconnected you. Okay, perfect. So, Charles joined in first. So, Charles, you are coming in from the position that Kaido hasn't been power cliffed, right?
Correct.
Okay. Lovely, lovely. And Marcos, you are coming from the position that he has been power cliffed.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I am going to argue that he was power clipped.
Okay, beautiful. So I will let Charles go in first since they joined in first. And then I'll just let you guys have a go at it, okay?
Sure.
Charles, what is your claim? What is your position?
All right, so yeah, like my position is that I don't think Kaido's been power clipped. The reason why is because in Wano, it took like a team effort from a lot of people, and I haven't counted how many. It was just a lot to beat Kaido while Kaido was holding up the entire island, and in the final fight, fights I guess, Kaido just straight up killed Luffy on screen twice. Now the first time. It was just him knocking him into the ocean, so you might not want to count that one. I count it because Luffy got saved by a submarine, not himself. But I understand if you don't want to count that.
No, that's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah.
And then the other one, he just actually killed Luffy on screen, and the only reason Luffy survived was because of an awakened devil fruit that ran out like 5 minutes later.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna mute myself. I just find the arguments funny. I'm sorry. I don't personally have an opinion.
And then I think in the final clash, when Luffy was using his Bajran gun and Kaido was using his flame dragon thing, Kaido was just so tired at that point, and also he was beaten mentally because Luffy just came back again and again and again after Kaido won countless times. Well, not countless, but a lot of times. And so Kaido just wasn't in the fight, and I think he wanted to lose in that moment. And so that he did. And then you flash forward to Egghead, and I don't really think Kizaru. I don't think Kizaru's on the level of Kaido either. But I also don't think that Luffy was going to beat Kizaru in an actual fight. And the reason why I don't think Luffy was going to beat Kizaru in an actual fight is because sorry, I'm blanking. The reason I don't think Kizaru's would beat Luffy in the reason why I don't think Luffy would beat Kizaru in an actual fight is because Luffy tired out way before Kizaru did and was having a really hard time keeping up with his speed and whatnot. And Kizaru was also not even trying to fight him. Like, you could say that Luffy was trying to keep Kizaru away from Vegapunk, and Vegapunk was trying to, or not Vegapunk, Kizaru was trying to kill Vegapunk. But I mean, I think it was like a one-sided fight, in my opinion. So like, Luffy was fighting Kizaru, and Kizaru wasn't fighting Luffy. So then and it was like barely a stalemate, and the person who got up first was Kizaru after that. And so I think you would have to argue Kizaru over Kaido in order to get Kaido power clipped.
Okay, is that the end of it?
Yeah, because I don't really think there's been anything in Elbaf so far.
Okay, that's fine. Marcos, what is your perspective? What is your claim?
So, thankfully for me, there has been a lot of things in Elbaf. So, I do not believe that Kizaru is over Kaido. And I have a simple reason. Like, no matter what happened with Luffy, we can argue if Luffy is even over Kaido at that point in time. But the fact that Green Bull was entering Wano and was like, "Yeah, I would not set my foot on Wano if Kaido was still up." Like, no, and I am not of the opinion that admirals are like so varying in power in that in when it comes to Marines. Like, I have Fujitora, Green Bull, and Kizaru like basically in the same tier of power, whatever that tier is. So I don't need Egghead for this. The God Valley flashback has been like, yeah, Kaido is like not there. Um, my question would be, do we think that Kaido is over Rocks D Zebek? Uh, if we have Rocks over Kaido, which I do like very much, especially if we go by Domi Reversi Rocks, then I don't need too many arguments after that. We have Rocks, who is over Kaido. We have Harald, who is equal to Rocks. And we have Loki, who has beaten not only Domi Reversi Harald, but a second tier covenant. Forgive me, I forgot the name of Deep Sea Abyss, whatever. Like the second tier covenant, which gives him immortality, increased power, and all that. So Loki being able to defeat Harald, and I again, Shanks and Gaban stated multiple times they can't do shit to Harald at that point. Like they were trying. Shanks was about to cry because he couldn't save Harald. So Loki in it would be his hybrid form was able to power down Harald, like clearly. There's no discussion there for me. And then one shot from Ragnir. From Ragnir with lightning, which would be his. Like I think Ragnir is ice and lightning is Loki. If we agree that Kaido is under rocks, then it's a very easy, how do you say it, chain scaling that puts Loki at least way over Kaido.
Okay. Charles, do you have any points you would like to to counter or point out?
Yeah, I want to point out some stuff. So, like, are you saying that because Rocks is over Kaido at God Valley, and then that Herald is over or equal to Rocks, and then that Loki is over Herald, that means Kaido got power cliffed? Is that your argument?
I just want to say, like I've been saying this in chat for a long time, the cliff part of the power cliff is like too strong a word for this. Like Kaido has been overtaken in power. Like there's no cliffing here. We are way past cliffing in One Piece. Like every single character, in my opinion, is at least high diff between each other. Like Kaido loses high diff to extreme diff to Loki. That's my opinion.
Okay. So I'm just using power clipped in like a general term, like it's just a terminology.
Yeah, just clarifying. Yeah.
Or would you guys be more comfortable with then using the term power creep? Because power creep would be more consistent of like things becoming potentially more powerful.
Whatever, but yeah. Also,
Okay.
I'm sorry. You asked if I think that current Kaido, like Wano Kaido, is still below rocks.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I was just asking what your argument was. I was asking if you think, if your argument is, okay, so Rocks is above the Kaido at God Valley, so, and then you use the Herald and Loki stuff. Does that mean that Kaido has been power clipped, like current Kaido? That's what I mean.
so, what I like to keep in mind. Like I was lost there for a second, but yeah, there is a thing that both Roger and Garp, like when people talk about giving a character going extreme diff, like going all out, like they did go all out. Like they would be dead if Gaban and Rayleigh weren't there to save them, right? So if I have both Garp and Roger, even at God Valley, like the whole getting stronger is also a thing that I don't think is that much supported in One Piece, to be honest. So, but that is another argument. And the Domi Reversi as a buff is also there to be considered. So, how much did Kaido get stronger? Like he was still like he was still able to be damaged. Like he was still damaged by Akazaya 9. Is that the name of the samurais? Yeah, he was damaged by them. He was not content with being killed by them, so he brushed them aside. So yeah, he is not as powerful as I think people think.
So you think because the Akazaya 9 landed a single hit on Kaido and drew like a little bit of blood that he's weak? I'm confused.
Not really weak, just not as untouchable as people think. Like you don't need
Okay.
how should I say? You don't need ACOG to like Mihawk does not need advanced conqueror's haki to beat Kaido, in my opinion. Like if
Is
Zoro
Mihawk...
with
Wait, hang on, hang on. Is
yeah.
Mihawk part of your argument? If not, can we just stick to the
Just,
characters that are part
Yeah,
of it?
let's try to keep things as consistent within the actual context of the conversation, right? We don't need to bring up as many.
Yeah,
other
apologies.
characters. No, you're fine. You're fine.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's basically like if I grant that he's like, okay, even if Kaido is stronger than Rocks at that time, which I simply don't believe. Like it's Rocks this epic. That's why I don't see Kaido being stronger than him with Domi Reversi. Yeah, that's I don't see how I can put Kaido over that.
I think I understand it. So I'm assuming the way you've answered it, your answer to my question is yes, which is fine. It's not like a trap question or anything. I'm just making sure I understand your argument. So for one, Kaido at God Valley didn't even have his devil fruit and wasn't in his prime, so you can't definitively make the argument that current Kaido is below Rocks, even if that were true. I think at God Valley, yeah, he definitely is, but he obviously got stronger, quantifiably. He got his devil fruit at least, so you aren't able to say exactly how much stronger Rocks is than Kaido. So that point alone, I think, is dubious. And then Harold being equal to Rocks, I don't really think also does anything. I don't think Harold is like equal to Rocks in the same way that other characters are. Like if character, I'll just use basic like generic characters. Like if character A is exactly equal to character B, right? They're like, and they clash. Okay, well neither of them wins. I think if Harold and Rocks actually fought, Rocks would just win. That's what I think.
Okay,
I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna say something, Neil?
Oh no, my bad. No, sorry. I was just replying to a quick message I checked out. Sorry, I just
Okay.
told myself okay. My bad. As you were saying.
Right. And so like I don't think Harold is like equal to Rocks in the sense that you're trying to put it in. I think the one clash that we got from them was just like a friendly clash because they were friends. Neither of them were trying to kill each other or anything like that. So you can't definitively put Harold as an equal to Rocks. And the last thing that I want to say is that I don't think Dami Reversi is an amp to your stats. I just think it makes you fight against people that you don't want to fight. I don't really think it like the most that you can do for a stat amp is saying it gives you like regenerative powers, like a healing factor kind of thing. But it doesn't make you any stronger than you already are.
I would absolutely argue it does. Like not size in One Piece has been like the point of strength. Like Big Mom wants giants. She says she would be queen of the pirates, I guess, if she had giants. World government wants giants. Imu, the whole God Valley flashback was like for giants. Like size matters. So like that simple fact is a buff. Regen is an extreme buff when it comes to characters that have Conqueror's haki. Like if Harald, if he didn't have Conqueror's haki, Shanks and Gaban clear. Like that was a simple reason why they couldn't beat him, and that was the whole speech from Roger to Garp speech, like few words that about the weight and all that. So I would argue Dom Reverse is a very significant buff, especially on rocks. But yeah, I've been thinking like, did Kaito use advanced conquers while in God
Yeah.
Valley? Like, do we know that?
Oh, in God Valley, I don't know.
Yeah. So if we assume that he didn't, like, he's pretty weak compared to his current self. Like, I can just say that even if he got stronger by learning his Devil Fruit, getting advanced conquerors haki like on his weapon and all that, like hitting without touching, yeah. Would
Whoa, what happened?
Yeah, apologize. I already wrote. I went to other room.
Oh, no, you're fine.
There are people here. Yeah, sorry. I'll end it with this and decide who won by that. Yeah, I would just say then that yeah, even if he got like way stronger, I would just say that then he got on the level of rocks, and Domireversi gives an edge. And then we have Loki who beat a stronger version of Rocks with Domireversi or Harald with the Second Covenant. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be my argument.
Okay, so thank you both so much. Let's see.
Yeah, I apologize. I have to leave.
No, that's fine,
Thank
Marcos.
you, Charles. Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming in, Marcos. I appreciate you, man. Okay, so, guys, who do you guys think had the better argument? Once again, not about who you agree with, more so about who you think was able to create a more consistent and well-rounded argument overall. Thank you as well, Charles. I really do appreciate it, man. I think you both brought up some really good points. I keep typing Mihawk, what the fuck? Alright, Marcos. Dude, my brain's like somewhere else. What the fuck? Alright. How are you guys enjoying this, by the way? Okay. Again, it's about the argument, not about who you agree with. And yes, it is Mihawk upscale. Everybody knows if they use the sword, it is automatically Mihawk upscale. Alright. Let's see. What other, do we have anybody else that, would like to join any of these topics? We still have. Should we only use the manga for scaling? Should, there's also, should we also, there's also, should consider verse equal. We want to have, like, topics of conversation that are broad enough and subjective enough that anyone can have an opinion on them. You'd be down to hop in? For sure. Are there any topics here that you guys would like to talk about? We have, you guys can just let me know what your position is on either chat here or inside the Discord. You guys are more than welcome to apply a...
I just hopped in. Should I just log out? Do I have to like necessarily type in that I want to debate, or?
Well, I would like it if you would at least let me know what debate topic you'd like to cover. We have Big Mom is the weakest Yonko, Admirals versus Yonko, Wikizaru beat Luffy without the mental nerf, Kaido versus Luffy Elbaf, Admirals versus Yonko, Killer versus Dofi. You know.
Okay, I'd like to cover Kaido against Luffy on Elbaf.
Kaido versus Luffy on Elbaf. What position would you like to take, Sana?
Kaido.
You would like to take Kaido?
Yes, I
Okay.
I love to take Kaido's position.
Does anybody want to take... I'm a master debater, does that count? Sure. Does anybody want to take Luffy's position? A position for Luffy within the context of the debate? Anybody want to debate for Luffy? You're more than welcome to join the link in the description and join up for a discussion. 6! Our mod 6. Perfect. Charles, I'm just going to disconnect you from the chat right now. No, thank you for showing up. You're more than welcome to come back in if you'd like to have another one. I'm assuming you put Killer just because someone suggested it. Dofi gets negged by, like, any current Straw Hat. Yeah, somebody just suggested it. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna have 6 join up. It'll only be about 3 points. You don't need to provide any evidence. It's more so just about providing a better argument. And it seems as though Charles was capable of developing the better argument, saying that Kaido wasn't power cliffed. Thank you guys so much. We'll leave it like that for now. Chopper wins against Dofi, Straw Hat Aura. All right. All right. Can't wait to hear what your guys' positions are on this topic. Hey, that could be another one. Chopper versus... Actually, you know what? Let's change it from Killer. Let's put Chopper versus Dofi. Let's put Chopper versus Dofi and talk about it. By the way, no, your English was very good, Marcos. I was definitely able to understand everything. I can't speak for anybody else, but I was definitely able to understand most of your arguments through and through. I really appreciate you for showing up, man. It takes a lot of courage, and I do think you actually did bring up some pretty interesting points, man. So I do appreciate it.
Marcus, I want to add, Marcus, your English is such a cute accent. No, I'm not gonna lie, it's such a funny, cute accent.
See, we're here about uplifting everybody. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, I have 6 muted right now. Let me unmute, and Sana, you can unmute as well. Since Sana joined in first, you can take in the starting position.
So, yeah, right. I believe Kaido is still stronger than Luffy, even during the Elbaf, because Kaido is much more experienced Yonko, unlike Luffy, and he has much more, how to express this, much more control over his Conquest Haki and his abilities overall. Since Luffy, he still doesn't know the true nature of his food, he doesn't know true nature of his abilities, so he cannot control them as good as we want him to do. Unlike Kaido, who saved his trump card for the last moment. Like, why didn't he turn into the flaming dragon before?
Is that the end of your starting claim?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, perfect. 6, you're more than welcome to take it away whenever you want.
Okay, so essentially, Luffy beat Kaido on Wano while being near dead, since he just came back after like literally dying from Kaido. There's no universe where you can argue Kaido was more injured or fatigued than Luffy, especially when Luffy gassed out of Gear 5 early and stated he was fatigued. And since Luffy was able to beat Kaido while being more injured and more fatigued on Wano, he would already be stronger in Wano, and he just gets massively stronger from there. He gets more control of Gear 5 in Egghead, and he gets a Gear 4 amp and base in Elbaf.
Okay. So it seems that your positions are that Kaido specifically has greater mastery of his Devil Fruit than even Luffy, and Luffy still hasn't fully understood the true capabilities of his Devil Fruit, versus 6, where your argument is that Luffy was in a physically worse position than Kaido, and yet still managed to get a win. Am I summing them up? Okay, Sana, you can start up with your next point. You can tackle anything you want.
Okay, about Luffy's like coming back with 0.1 HP.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, someone said on chat. I'm sorry. Someone said on chat, Luffy surpassed Don Krieg. Trust me, guys. Sorry, I love Don Krieg memes.
Okay, Don Krieg. We know Don Krieg and Lodius, everyone. So about like Luffy coming back from the dead, yeah. So far from manga, what I believe the textual context, the narrative showed us that when Luffy came back from the dead, unlocking his new gear, his awakening fruit, he definitely regained a lot of his strength. It even was shown at one point that he, as long as he believes in, he can essentially restore his stamina at any point in the battle, as long as he desires so. Because we remember we saw him like getting old at mid battle with Kaido, and then he just like, okay, let me restart my heart again, and he was like an engine. Formula One started to fighting once more with new breath of the power. And for the Kaido, I would say he was a lot weaker even before the encounter with Straw Hats, even before the war, because there was a 3 day battle with Big Mom, which ended in stalemate. We know that they fought for 3 days straight, so there's no basis for us to think that they never even entered. Let's say like they never entered the strongest forms. There's no like uh, argument against that because why would they fight for 3 days in base if they could just like end the battle at any point? So we know they were just kind of equal. That's why they were kind of oh no, I'm making bad arguments right now. um,
Take your
okay, let
time.
me.
Yeah, take your time. Breathe in. Give yourself a moment, and then you can continue.
Okay, I got it, my fault. So yeah, we know that Kaido and Big Mom fought for 3 days straight. Then they came to the war. He fought against the nine Scabbards. The Scabbards weren't a big of difficulty for Kaido, but it still was a minor inconvenience for him to even move, to even spend his time on them, because we know if they can draw blood from him, even though it's nothing compared to like what Luffy or Zoro or Odin can do. But even so, after this, he fought against all three of the Supernova with Big Mom. They all have good attacks on him. He even acknowledged this with like all of them passing his crazy durability. And then after this, he defeats all of them. But before that, he like took a straight shot from Zoro that left a permanent scar on him. So this is one of the majoring points in this battle, in this war, because even though Kaido himself didn't show any expressions of like, oh my god, I will never recover from this damage, but we know that it still was a decent attack because it still left a permanent scar that was still bleeding. Yeah, and then we know that the Yamato wanted to hold off Kaido, and we know that Yamato is a very strong fighter because he stalemated Kaido for enough time for Luffy to come back, and then Luffy, with a new breath, with a new stamina from the food, he came back with the Gear 4 Snake Man and just started to beat the crap out of the Kaido, and uh, then he defeats Luffy again. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Luffy comes back pretty much with new power, with new wave of stamina and all of that. And but Kaido never got the chance to even have a break because we know he had fight after fight after fight. Even though some of those fights he never even considered that strong, but still he never got a chance to breathe. You know. Yeah, that's the end of.
That's the end of your second point. Okay, 6.
All right, so can I just contend this or what?
You can contend. You can provide your own examples, however you'd like to
Okay.
go about it.
All right, so essentially, your argument, your entire argument stems on the fact that Luffy got healed or got his stamina back somewhat with Gear 5, but this is never substantiated at all within the story, and you never substantiate it being the case yourself. And even if you would argue that Luffy was able to move around with Gear 5, that's just because of Gear 5, how Gear 5 fundamentally works. Like, he literally had to restart his heart halfway through the battle because he was heavily fatigued, which he says so himself. And for Kaido fighting Big Mom, one, after the battle, they were seen drinking and just like partying, and neither of them had any damage at all. And Kaido has zone regeneration, which means he likely, even if he got wounds, he would have just regenerated from them. And for all of the Scabbards, up until Yamato, none of them could deal sufficient damage at all, which Kaido himself said. He said, oh, it's too shallow, oh, it's too shallow, up until Luffy got Advanced Conquerors. And even then, Luffy only landed a single combo on Kaido and then got one shot. Like, you're saying Kaido never got a break at all. But Luffy got like defeated like 4 or 5 times and still kept fighting.
Okay. Senna, do you want to counter anything Sig said, or do you want to make your own, or do you want to just try to push on your point a little bit further?
Um, yeah, I will counter a bit, and then I will push my point further.
Okay.
So, with Kaido and Big Mom drinking, yeah, we know that they were drinking after that. They had a little time to like breathe in after the fight, but it was in the same evening. So we know that after they just finished the fight, they immediately thrown the party, like where they concluded like a new alliance with them, and after this, they're immediate like within couple of hours, a bunch of
I'm sorry.
bunch
I'm sorry.
of homeless.
Someone just posted a really funny picture on the chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see this picture. Poor Otama. Oh no, I forgot her name. Anyway, I will close the chat. Oh my god, that's so funny. And so immediately after they just concluded the fight, yeah, they made an alliance. Within a few hours after their fight, which again was like 3 days, you cannot everyone could agree that if they were fighting for 3 days, there's at least was somewhat effort put in this from both sides, yeah, from Big Mom and from Kaido. And then we're coming back to the bunch of homeless attacking his party. Uh, After this, yeah, we know that Luffy was defeated multiple times, but we also know that Luffy was assisted multiple times after each defeat. Like he got knocked down. He wanted no, he got tired. He told Zoro, "Hey, can you take over for me? I just want to slip a bit mid-fight, by the way." And then, yeah, he got his rest. He understand how to use his Conqueror's Haki. And again, Kaido is never fighting all out well. He never uses his full strength because we see this during the fight that every time Luffy comes up with something new to defeat Kaido, Kaido matches his new power with something that he was held in back, and then we see Luffy again knocking down from into the ocean. He got picked up by the Law's crew and was fed by uh, how to say boundless pit of food from Caribou, and then he comes back again while Yamato was still fighting Kaido, and she was doing a great job because he did manage to land couple great blows on Kaido, and there is no we cannot say that Kaido never tried to kill Yamato, or at least defeat Yamato, because we know that Kaido is a ruthless man, and even when it comes to his son, Kaido will never even back down against the fight. And so, and the next point is that Kaido is very, how to say, like Kaido again. What was my point? Yeah, just a second. I need to think of the point. I forgot it.
Okay. Just for the sake of time and to let other people have a chance, I think we can just let six go, and then we'll go into debate into voting. Okay? Is that okay?
Sure.
Six.
All right. But so you said yeah they were partying after. That doesn't really prove the fight wasn't serious. And yes, I agree with that. That just doesn't address my main contentions at all. Since Kaido still could have regenerated. Like we see him with bruises and bloodied multiple times, and then in the next panel or the next chapter, he's just completely fine. Which shows how absolutely cracked his own regeneration is. And neither of them were even damaged after the battle. And obviously, Kaido fought everyone on the rooftop, and Luffy like got rejuvenated after sort of got rejuvenated after each of his defeats, but you can't say it still wasn't taxing on his stamina, and that doesn't really affect like my overall point. Since my point is that since Luffy was on his deathbed, basically dead, and beat Kaido, he would be stronger than Kaido. And even if I were to grant you that Kaido would be more fatigued, Luffy still won the fight, and then got on to get a Gear 4 amp and base. There's nothing that you can there's nothing you can I don't know what the fucking words are. There's nothing you can provide that will prove that Kaido was more fatigued than a entire Gear 4 amp.
Okay. So, thank you both. Okay, so just to catch up the people here that are just joining in, we are having random debates about different topics that could be considered more so subjective currently within the context of scaling. It can be Naruto. It can be whatever topic regarding power scaling so far. You just have to provide a position, and you just have to develop a couple of arguments. You don't have to provide any evidence. You don't have to do anything of the sort. What our two wonderful channel members just did was essentially provide positions for whether or not Kaido versus who would win between Kaido versus Luffy. And right now, what I'm going to ask from all of you in chat, those of you that have joined, let me just check names again real quick. Sana and Six. Sana versus... Ooh, I put Saba. Sana versus Six. I want you guys to vote specifically on who had the better argument. Not who you agree with. Who do you believe had the better overall argument? So I'm going to put it up for you guys right now. Sana, Six, thank you guys so much for helping us up with this. I really do appreciate it. It's also a good way to test out like this beta format for Yo, you guys are doing great with the fucking memes. I might actually just leave this as like background photos for if I may turn this into a video. Thank you both so much. Appreciate you guys. And Six, I didn't get a chance to say this. Hope you had a good day, man. Like background photos for if I may turn this into a video. Thank you both so much. Appreciate you guys. And Six, fuck. Get a chance to say this. Okay, Sana, I think like I'm photos. Okay, let me just put you down. Yeah, I think Sana had me in the background, and they was blasting. Anyway, yeah, I think you both did gave in some good arguments. I think you both definitely made some decent points here. Overall, right now with 14 votes, we have Six with a commanding 71% lead. While we wait on the next set of debaters, Six, thank you so much, man. If you'd like to debate any other topics, you're more than welcome to come back in. Okay, so we have a couple more topics we'd like to discuss here. Isn't Kaido a good dad? Do you guys want to... you guys want to debate if Kaido's a good dad or not? We could do some meme ones too. I don't fucking care. Does chat want to do... Yes or no, does chat want to do, is Kaido a good dad? Oh, that's a good one, actually. Is Naruto a good dad? Is Naruto or Goku a good dad? We can do one or the other. You're here for good... you're here for good dad Kaido? Listen, that's gonna be a kind of a tough one, but hey, fuck it. You're gonna torture yourself and then go sleep? Who's a better dad, Dragon or Kaido? Trash versus garbage? Alright. Anyway, if anybody would like to... Enemies who can't leak our plan if we don't have one. Monkey D. Luffy. Not put me in, coach. No, get me in there. Okay, so first we have to establish, what topic do you guys want to cover right now? Because we still have a couple to go through. I'm gonna remove these for now. Yo, run it back. I'll take Bad Dad Kaido. Garling is a better dad, trust. Ichiji versus Page 1 is a fire battle. That would be interesting. Okay. Does anybody want to do, should we also consider verse equalization when we talk about any versus battles? Should we only use the manga for scaling? Was Big Mom the weakest Yonko? Admirals versus Yonko. Would Kizaru beat Luffy without the mental nerf? Chopper versus Dofi. Is Itachi the best genjutsu user of the Uchiha? Is Naruto or Goku a good dad? These are the current topics. You gotta defend Naruto. Okay. So, Moloch, does anybody want to take in an argument for Naruto is a bad dad? Does anybody... does anybody... I love this Tai Lung photo so much. Does anybody want to defend Naruto, or does anybody want to go against Naruto being a good father? Anybody think that Naruto's a bad dad?
Not letting Naruto take no slander.
You're not letting Naruto take no slander? Sure. You debate that one? Alright, Drake, come back in here. Let's bring Drake back in here. Drake got a 50-50 earlier. Let's see if Drake can break that and get a W. What's up, Moloch? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Lovely, lovely. It takes a lot of courage.
You cannot defeat my
Oh yeah, it's pixel scaling reliable. That was one that I was thinking about before.
Oh, that's actually a good one. Pixel scaling. That's a good one.
Reliable. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are more than welcome to also throw in ideas here. Still up for the should verse equalization be used. If anybody wants to debate Lapis on whether... Lapis, can you present your position, by the way, on chat? So that way we can know if anybody wants to go against the counter stance. Yes, please let us know your... Seymour Skinner. All right. So, Moloch, since you were here first, please let us know what your debate topic is. And, yeah, be sure to go through with it.
Can you pull up the sheet so I can say it?
Yeah.
Wait, where is it? Oh yeah, your stream's delayed. It was the is Naruto or Goku a better dad?
Yeah. Is Naruto a good dad?
I have to. Yeah, I gotta defend my man's. He's
Sure.
a good dad. That's
Okay.
my stance.
Okay. So what argument do you want to? How do you want to start off your argument?
Listen, I want to start off my argument by saying that this is all an illusion. For Naruto, the reason people think he's a bad dad is because of people who haven't read Boruto, and their only interactions with it are the people who complained about Boruto being mad at his father. But if you really read, what the fuck is that picture? But if you really read Boruto, you will find out that Naruto not only loves his children, but he actively does his best to protect both them and the village. And when you look at like how he treats future characters like Kawaki, like it's pretty obvious like the man knows how to be a good father.
Okay. Okay. Drake, do you have any counter arguments?
I would say it's more of the fact that Naruto needs to do a better job on the bureaucratic side of things to let him have more time for his family, because you know he for someone who's like so capable with the clone jutsu, who's so renowned in the village for all he's done. I think he needs to use, like, not in the sense of like corruption kind of thing, like, oh, he should get himself some more money. I think he just needs to give more people within the village like actual responsibilities to help him with the managing of things, like obviously people he can trust. Like we don't want like a Danzo 2.0 just slipping in there. But yeah, it kind of comes down that he needs to do more to like balance his work life and his family life. Is my kind of argument on that.
Okay. Okay. I see where you guys are coming from. Do you want to add something, Moloch? Anything that you want to counter with that?
I will say that while I do half agree that Naruto periodically, that how you say it? Whatever.
Yeah.
Periodically, like, could probably have improved it. He actually was doing a lot in the village, like, even before like all the main events of Boruto happened. He actually was doing a lot in the village to make sure everything was running smoothly. He was constantly communicating with the other villages. Shikamaru, I mean, you know how smart Shikamaru is. I don't even have to explain that. Like Shikamaru being his right-hand man basically already like locked down most of the stuff they were dealing with. The only real problems in the village occurred when Momoshiki and the other new Otsutsuki started appearing. And it was only really then that Naruto's like grasp started to flail. But that's not because like of that's not because of bureaucracy. That's just because he was getting his ass beat by power scaling. That's not his fault. You can't blame him for that.
I'll give one big issue: the fact that he kept those two Donzo old timers on the in his council. Why did he keep those two? Wanted to chain him up when he was a kid.
But because of course you got to think about it, right? If you have only a team of people that all agree with you, you won't be able to get all the different perspectives that allow you to efficiently run, because you have to get different perspectives. You can't just have an echo chamber, you know? Naruto understands that.
Yeah, but then again, those people have been there for a century. It's like. But anyway, we're kind of going off topic from like family thing.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah. Let's try to stick to the conversation.
Like, if anything, Naruto should have released the Konoha files.
What the fuck? All right. All right.
All right. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to put it out. But anyway,
Okay.
so should we would try with Goku, or do you got because
Uh,
I'm kind of sticking to I don't really have more to add on Naruto.
Okay, so you're done. So if you're done on your point, Moloch, would you like to add anything, or would you just want to end it there?
I mean, if he doesn't disagree that Naruto's like not a good dad, then yeah, I'm good.
So Drake, do you concede inherently?
I think it's like it's more for I guess my argument would be more of the sense Naruto could be a better dad.
Okay, that works.
That's what I'm kind of mainly go off of. It's more like because personally, he's not a bad dad. He could be a better dad.
Okay, got you.
Besides, I'm gonna try my best to defend Goku.
Do you guys want to do Goku? Is Goku a good or bad dad? Do you guys want to take the opposite stances?
You know, I'd actually be willing to take an opposite stance on that.
Okay, so Drake, you want to defend Goku, and Moloch, you want to attack Goku?
I will defend Goku.
Sure, let's go for it.
I'll attack him.
So, Goku, when it comes down to what makes him such a good dad, is the fact that he has given his life for Gohan before, and like more, and also kind of more in the sense for his family and friends, obviously. But when we think about like the first, back when Dragon Ball Z began, he literally gave his life to defeat Raditz, and and also to save his son, considering because he was initially kidnapped, threatened, and was about to be taken away by Raditz. And obviously he strived to he could have just waited in the afterlife to get revived, but he took his time to get trained, go get strong enough so that when he returns and then he comes in to fight Vegeta, he gives it his all. He protects Gohan, and kind of continues on with when it goes on to Namek and such, and it even goes further in the sense of like how he bonds with Gohan, especially during the overall Cell arc. And I know the Team 4-Star, I think they overly meme Goku's absentee father stuff, because again, it's like nothing says that when Gohan was pre Dragon Ball Z, he was not in Gohan's life. He was probably raising Gohan just fine, and probably with Gohan just as much afterwards. It's just that after Namek, they were constantly in crisis mode. Sure, the whole stuff that was going on with Cell, and I mean from the Frieza and Namek to Cell, it was like they had years, but there was mostly years just training and preparing.
Okay.
He was mostly with Gohan that entire time.
Okay.
And that's kind of my whole thing in the sense that he has a lot of he's with Gohan, he's involved in his life, and while it is obviously for fighting, it's kind of that's kind of their role or their expectation.
So to generalize your argument, right? To make it a bit more concise. It's the idea that Goku would sacrifice his life for his family, but there are certain and he does spend time with his son, but there is a clear pattern of certain behaviors later in certain arcs where it doesn't paint Goku in the best light.
Yeah, and that'll be up to Moloch to tell.
Okay, Moloch, what's your points?
So, with Goku,
wait, one
he
second.
definitely.
One second. So we said Gohan would be dumb as shit if Goku was given free reign. If Chi-Chi had no fucking take on his education, Gohan would be a fucking blundering buffoon.
And honestly, that was going to be one of my main points, because yes, it is true that Goku was previously in Gohan's life. Other than the one movie, what was it called? The World's Strongest movie?
Oh yeah, that one.
Other than that, you don't have any canon evidence that Goku was actually a strong, influential part of Gohan's early life. For all we know, that could have just been mostly Chi-Chi, especially since Gohan showed more interest in studying than he did with fighting. If he spent more time with Goku as a kid, he would be more leaning towards being a fighter like him.
Okay.
And when you really talk about, because you talk about Goku sacrificing himself, yes, he did sacrifice himself for Gohan and everyone else, and it was actually pretty peak. I cried. But the problem with that is that, for one, all of that was Goku realizing that the villains, Cell, the androids, all of it was amounting because of his existence. That was less so him sacrificing himself for his son, and more so him atoning for, like, basically his existence and like him causing everything that has happened. And the fact that even though he definitely cares about Gohan, as we saw, he doesn't necessarily have a complete understanding of his son. You know what I mean? He was spending time with him, he was training with him, but that was largely out of the necessity of having to fight Cell. If Cell did not exist, there is like a debate where they might not have even gone into the time room and spent that time together in the first place.
Got you. Drake, would
So,
you like...
but at that same case, it's like, well, it's like, so Goku existing shouldn't be like a crime for, or you know, a fault of him. That's like saying if like it's like, oh, because I existed and some bad guy shows up because I exist. That does that mean?
I mean, that's what
Whoa,
Goku
whoa,
said.
hold on.
Goku said
Moloch, let Drake finish. Let Drake finish, please.
Okay,
Because here's the
I'm
thing,
mute.
like with Cell, like, you know, Dr. Gero made Cell, and true, he made him out of the DNA of Goku and countless other characters. But like, and obviously Gero's reasoning was because he wanted revenge on Goku for defeating the Red Ribbon Army back when he was a kid. But let's not forget that the Red Ribbon Army were a bunch of militarist fascists, or at least they were militarist fascists who wanted to, you know, take the Dragon Balls and use them for nefarious things, or in the sense of Red, he wanted to just become taller. But the point is that if he's at fault for opposing any, you know, a threat, and there's a consequence to that, I mean, that's just kind of something that has to be tackled in the end. And, you know, obviously, I'm sure Goku doesn't want to throw Gohan into like needless danger or create a new threat, but at the same time, that does lead into some certain problems, especially when it comes to the later end of the Cell arc. For sure, like there is one thing, but that you'll have to break down on.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that somebody drew this or the fact that it isn't AI, because why the fuck would anyone spend the time and energy to put this image on the internet? What the fuck? Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, there's a Kaido image.
It was also, that's terrible.
Yeah. Also, who the fuck said this is my fucking alt account? What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Alright, anyway, Moloch, what's your final point? Sorry. What the fuck?
Yeah, my opponent, Drake, he was alluding to it before, but I think the point he's talking about is the fact that ultimately, when given the choice of whether or not to come back, Goku did not decide to come back. And yes, he did like explain that part of that was because, like you said, because Drake, you talked about how a lot of the bad people, like, it necessarily wasn't Goku's fault, and you're right, it's not Goku's fault, but that's not my point. My point is that Goku was doing what he was doing, not necessarily just to save his son, but because of all of the accumulation of the enemies that he had, and he wanted to get rid of himself, not necessarily just to save his son. So that doesn't necessarily show love for his son, it just shows him trying to atone for what he did. And also him staying in the afterlife and not spending time with his family, especially when Goten was literally right around the corner about to be born. And the first time Goten sees him is he's dead and he's at the tournament. Oof.
Alright. So.
And yeah, I can agree that is one of the issues with Goku, because it seems like later on in life he becomes a bit too focused on his hobby than for his family, but at the same time, I feel it's also in the sense that he doesn't want to like dictate the life for his sons or for Chi-Chi as well. But yeah, that I can agree on.
Okay.
Where, you know.
Still waiting on that Luffy versus Naruto. I'll get to it eventually. Moloch, you want to give one last point, or are you good?
Let's all agree Dragon Ball Super Goku's writing was a mistake.
Sure.
I'll agree on that.
Sure. Alright. Let's go for round 2. I think, Moloch won the last debate. Let's see, alright. Actually, I think I already had it up, and I think that people were just voting for it, so I think we could just count that as a whole. Oh, wait, no. Only 12 people voted on that last one. Who had the better argument? Who had the better argument? Moloch. Oh, wait, Moloch, Goku, Bad Dad. Moloch. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Goku, Good Dad. Drake. Goku, Bad Dad. Goku, Bad Dad. Okay. We'll put that up for a little bit. What's the next debate? Why the fuck is there a picture of an... That has to be AI. There's no way that's not fucking AI. Thank you guys again. Okay. We can do... I think we can do, maybe 2 more of these. I would be down to do 2 more. So, is there any topic that you guys would like to do? Lapis, you said you would like to consider verse equalization, and should manga only... or should we only use manga as the only medium for power scaling and manga and anime? Does anybody want to take a position in this? Does anybody want to take a position in either of these two? Would anybody like to take a position with either of these two? What the fuck is this? Congrats on the divorce. It's crazy. Wait, bro, I was bad dad. Oh, you were bad dad. Were you bad dad for Goku? I thought you were good dad for Goku. Oh, shit. Well, you know what? I think it's fine. I think it's completely fine. It's a beta trial for something that we can do later on for content. There are definitely more topics of conversation here. Yeah, you were good dad? Well, my apologies then, boys. Sorry about that. I guess I got muddled up. Does anybody want to do Chopper versus Doflamingo? Is pixel scaling reliable? Is Itachi the best genjutsu user in the Uchiha? Should we also consider verse equalization? Should we only use the manga for scaling? Topic DBS sucks. Sure. I'm sure you wanna. Nana, you're putting up the topic, but just to confirm real quick, does DBS suck? You guys are more than welcome to put this, but I'm going to need some positions on this. You guys can post your positions in the chat. Please post your positions in the chat. What the fuck is this? I'd be such a good boy white. Alright. Alright. Guys, please use this chat for me. Okay. Let's do this. Let's create a new text channel. It's going to be a new text channel. Create space for organized discussions, images, new channel. I'm just going to type memes. Memes. Create channel. Alright, guys. Okay. Please use this channel. Please use this chat for providing your stance for the debates. And please use this one. Please use this chat for memes only. What the fuck are some of these photos? This is just brain rot at this point. Alright. Yeah, you opened up the floodgates. It's fine. It's fine. You'll defend Super Black Yoshi? Alright. Come back in. You're an amazing debater, Thine. We're just trying to figure out whether or not, who can create the better argument. We're just trying to figure out who can create the better argument. This is not about providing evidence. This is just about your argumentative skills. I thought you didn't want evidence or something. You don't necessarily need to provide evidence. I just meant this more so for, like, establishing a claim who wants to be part of it. Charles, are you going to defend Super, Charles? I think that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, what are your positions? Charles, since you came in first, what is your position?
That I like Super.
Okay, you like Super. How about GT versus Super in terms of power? Well, that one's going to have to use a 6 for that one specifically. It's going to have to go more so into, like, actual power scaling. We don't really want to do that one now. We kind of just want to leave it up for more so just up in the air stuff. More so conversations that are a bit more open-ended and worth having a discussion over, rather than something where we probably would actually need active power scaling for. Anime canon is still okay scaling since the manga. If you guys want to cover those topics, please join the server. It's right here. It's linked below. You guys can join the server, and then you guys can present your positions, and you guys can join up right afterwards. We should use verse equalization sometimes. Okay. Facilis Vulgaris is Eon's favorite. I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm sure this is somehow trying to depict Facilis Vulgaris. I'm sure this is somehow just another word for saying penis. I don't know. Anyway. Anyway, Charles, since you got in here first, you can go first. Sorry.
Alright. So the reason why I think Super is good is because it is very cool, and I like Ultra Instinct.
It's very cool, and you like Ultra Instinct. Alright. Black, would you like to go?
Oh, wow, that's a solid argument. Like, all right. So, the reason why... Wait, I'm defending Super... Wait.
You're saying Super
I'm saying
sucks.
Super's bad?
Yeah. He's defending Super,
Oh,
you're saying Super
better
sucks.
that. So, my first case in point is going to be Gohan, Frieza, and Goku. They just get in random abilities at this point, and it's like with Gohan especially.
Yeah.
Gohan, okay, Black Frieza, okay, whatever. He trained in the hyperbolic time chamber. Golden Frieza came out of nowhere. All right, I'm sorry. That, like, Super literally states that in order, like, Goku and Vegeta, if they trained for like 1 billion years, they'd never reach Super Saiyan Blue. And the transformations is just, oh my god, it's just so wacky in Super, right? That's one point. Another point would be, that's it. That's all I got, actually.
Okay, sure. Charles, would you like to counter that in any way?
Yeah, I'll counter that pretty easily, actually. So everything that he said is correct. Like, none of it makes sense. However, it is cool, so it's fine.
Alright, so it's cool, sure. Black, would you like to counter that?
Yo, I'm low-key losing. I'm getting cooked.
I mean... someone said...
Okay.
Yeah.
I got some. So the villains, right?
Yeah, the villain, sure.
Jiren. That man don't even got a back. Like, his backstory is like... Yeah, if you want to call Jiren a villain, you feel me? Like...
Yeah.
What do we do? Like, I don't know. Jiren's backstory, Hit's backstory. I don't even think Hit got a backstory. I don't even know what those characters are doing. They're just there to be more rivals for Goku. Yeah.
So you're saying everything revolves around Dragon Ball. So, sorry. Obviously it revolves around Dragon Ball. My bad. So you're saying that within the context of Super, everything revolves around kind of Goku, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Charles, do you have anything to say against that?
It's kind of a lack of backstory for, like, all the new characters introduced.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, so are you just saying that because Jiren doesn't have a backstory that Super's bad?
Yeah, too.
Okay. Well, I don't think anybody in Dragon Ball needs a backstory. I don't think Dragon Ball even needs a story. I just think we need to see people throw hands, and if it's cool, then it's good.
Okay. Any last words, Black? Any counters?
Dragon Ball had a story. Dragon Ball Z followed a linear path with Majin Buu and Cell and Saiyan Saga, and it all kind of led to Majin Buu and had such a great ending. And so Super like they were just extending it,
Yeah.
I feel like it's more of a cash grab at this point.
It's more of a cash grab. Okay, that's fair.
Very true, but my
Like they're hypnotizing the fans
Wait, hold on.
with pretty colors and big fights.
Hold on. Charles, this is their last point. That was your last point. Okay, so guys, again, it's all about who you think developed the better argument, not about who you agree with, okay? We're gonna put it up. Thank you both so much. And Charles, I see that you want to debate Lapis on whether or not we should use verse equalization, so if you want, you can stay in here. Black, thank you so much for joining back in. I really appreciate you both.
Yep.
Why the fuck is somebody sending me men's underwear, and why the fuck is one of them a fucking pork snout on a... You know what? Please stop posting these in the scans portion and post them in the memes, at least. God damn. Dragon Ball Super is literally jingling keys in front of your face. Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, it's John Pork. All right, fuck off. What was the debate? The debate was whether or not Super sucks, and most people right now seem to be in agreement that Charles had the better argument. Wait, no, actually, wow, it just jumped straight into Black Yoshi. Bold of you to assume someone won't use that picture for a debate. I would love you to explain to me how exactly that picture could be used in any capacity in a debate. Guys, I was getting cooked. I mean, sure. Okay, so sorry about this, Lapis. I had you muted. How you doing, Lapis?
Oh, I'm doing good. All I'm saying is that you opened up the floodgates with the memes.
Yeah,
you just
sure.
said, "All right, if this becomes a video, I could use some of these as my as a
Just background
thumbnail."
use. No, I was just gonna use it as a background footage, but fuck it, right? I guess I'm just gonna throw some gameplay behind this and maybe make this. I don't know yet because I didn't start recording on I didn't start technically recording on Streamlabs, so the video quality might actually turn out to be a bit worse, but it's fine. I don't really mind that. This is just sort of like a beta stream just to see how things are going. I'll probably just start work with the next video up at some point this week, and we can have another one of these streams where we can actually talk about a couple more topics if people are interested in them. But anyway, Lapis, since Charles was already here, but he went first last time, do you see the vision? No, I don't see the fucking vision. You are more than welcome to go first. So the stance on this debate is more so on whether or not we should verse equalize. You are more than welcome to take it away. By the way, just to like kind of change things up for this debate, you guys are essentially allowed to either reinforce your argument. You guys get 3 to 4 arguments, depending on whether or not you guys just run out of things to talk about, right? You guys have 3 to 4 chances. Well, one of them including your you guys have 3 to 4 chances, including your initial claim, to essentially either tackle an opponent's point of view or simply add on to what you were saying before. You don't have to make them overly long expressions, since it might, become a muddled mess. So we want to keep things clear and clarified. We don't want to skew too far away from the conversation. Lapis, please take it away whenever you're down.
All right. So my main point to why I disagree with using verse equalization in power scaling is that it inherently shifts the debate to be in favor of one of the characters instead of another. It inherently makes it so one character has the advantage, and my main evidence for this is the majority of versus battles, whether it be like the big 3, I don't know, like My Hero Academia versus some One Piece characters, you get it.
Yeah.
Series that have inherently 2 very different power systems. And the way I'm going to prove this is that is by giving a a hypothetical versus battle that, and don't worry, it won't take that long.
No.
Let's say we put Itachi against someone like Ace from One Piece. If we verse equalize to say chakra and haki are equal, that would mean that Itachi has the advantage, because now all of his genjutsu can now work, because now there's a place where he can inject chakra and it actually does something. Now we can also flip this the other way. What if all the Naruto characters had haki? Now this would shift the balance of the fight of the versus battle towards Ace specifically. Now Ace does have haki, and so because Itachi obviously has no concept of haki, Ace would get a unfair advantage. Now, there's another point I want to bring up, and that is that you can set versus battle conditions while while not using verse equalization
Okay.
to make it more fair, more feasible. Like you can have a versus battle where it's like, oh, what is who would win in a fight? Ten Tails Madara versus I don't know, someone like Kizaru. But you can also say that in this scenario, Logian tangibility isn't a factor. Madara can hit with like standard attacks. He can hit Kizaru. So that's where I'm gonna leave it off. It's 2 points. One is like the more important point, while the other is just a side point I want to bring up.
Okay. Thank you. Charles, whenever you're ready.
Okay, yes, sir. I agree with actually most of what you said. My stance isn't really that we should use verse equalization all the time. It's that we should use it sometimes.
Okay.
And the reason for that is like, especially in crossverse, I think every debate that you can possibly have in crossverse is just inherently subjective. So, if you want to go at it from like a scientific perspective, and try and get an exact answer, and sure, maybe verse equalization isn't the best way to do it. But I think a lot of debates with a lot of characters, they're just kind of pointless if you don't do verse equalization. And that just goes back to my point originally, is that it's just inherently subjective in the first place. So you're not going to come to an objective conclusion regardless. So if you just want to have a pointless debate, then go ahead, don't use verse equalization. But if you want to actually have an interesting conversation in general about insert topic here, then maybe you should use verse equalization to some extent. The example that you brought up, Ace versus Itachi, yeah, I wouldn't use verse equalization for that. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But a lot of characters do make sense to use it. One good example is Asta from Black Clover. If you take away verse equalization, he just does nothing. He's just a guy with a sword, and that's it. Like he doesn't have his power at all, so that also gives an unfair advantage to him, to his opponent. Sorry, because Asta's not able to use his toolkit. So that just makes the debates on that kind of pointless, in my opinion.
Okay. So it's good that you brought up someone like Asta, and the one I am gonna ask you, like, can you provide like an actual like substantial versus battle where this would apply to? Because you just provided one character, but I want to see if you can provide a hypothetical scenario, and you can use Asta. I'm not saying that you can't use them. So
1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Take your time. Don't worry.
Those are some interesting points.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back.
No, you take your time.
So you wanted a example like matchup?
Like an example matchup.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll take Asta for an example. I'll take him versus I don't know, Natsu from Fairy Tail.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, one of the points you said is that Asa cannot use his anti-magic because certain characters outside of the verse, actually a significant amount of characters, don't possess any form of magic that could be considered to be affected by Asa. But that's the thing. You don't necessarily need the entire toolkit of a character for the versus battle to be interesting, because you also have to take into account their stats, feats using abilities that don't necessarily require the entire use of their toolkit, and again, this is a lot of people in Naruto versus One Piece debates can use this same kind of logic when like arguing for like genjutsu users having to use their entire toolkit. Like even though Itachi in like my hypothetical scenario against Itachi versus Ace, even though Itachi is a master of genjutsu, has yeah, he has probably some of the strongest genjutsu in the entire series. He still has a bunch of abilities that he can use besides his genjutsu, which is his trademark way of taking out opponents. He still has Amaterasu, the Susanoo, what else? Fireball Jutsu. I can think of there's still outlets that said character can use, and for say someone like Asta, where a lot of his strength comes from negging his opponents via anti-magic, he still has brute strength. If at the end of the day, if Asta has enough speed and enough AP to take out an opponent, he should still be able to take out an opponent, even if he doesn't have anti-magic to use against them.
I'm crying. Bro said I really like the common bean. That's a 10-minute timeout.
Was that all Lapis?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just
Sorry, what'd you say?
I asked if you were done.
I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that all of that is fine and whatnot. I'm just saying I think it's pointless because you're not even debating Asta versus whoever it is at that point. Like Asta's entire toolkit is based around his anti-magic. If you take that away from him, you're just debating insert guy here that's really strong with a sword versus, whatever other character that can use their toolkit. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to have that debate because I'm not trying to debate Asta without his powers and a sword versus, whatever character. I'm trying to debate Asta. You can separate Asta from his power. So, I mean, you can. Absolutely, you can. And you can have that debate. I'm not interested in it. I think it's pointless. So, therefore, I think you should do verse equalization at least sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna bring Six up into this debate because he knows basically everything about Black Clover. Yeah. But I see what you mean. And if you want to have that debate, by all means, go ahead. But at least personally, when I am thinking of versus battle debates, I try to make sure that there's no factors inherently aiding a certain character that isn't like already either one pre-established by the terms and conditions of the versus battle, and two, something that would aid the character that isn't like, how do I word this? Disregard the second point. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. But yeah. I mean, by all means, verse equalize, but at least when it comes to the versus battles that I think of, I personally do not verse equalize, and that's just because I think it's a little, at least in my mind, a little bit of a cop-out. But if you want to verse equalize, that is completely fine. I am not stopping you.
Charles, do you have any final words?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to reiterate my point. That just goes back to what I was saying earlier. That I think all cross-verse debates are just inherently subjective in the first place. So I don't think going at it from like a purely scientific point of view does anything really, because you're not going to come to an objective. You're not going to come to an objective conclusion no matter
Yeah.
what you do. So
I mean,
you should just.
I-
Wait,
I'm
hold
not
on.
saying you should.
Yeah, hold on, Lapis.
I'm not.
Let him finish.
Okay, yeah, I'm not saying you should use verse equalization like every single time, but you know, if you want to have, I guess, more dynamic or interesting conversations, because maybe Asta wasn't like the best example, and I'm probably not going to be able to come up with one. But there are characters to where if you take them outside of verse equalization, they're just completely useless, and you can't even have debates with those characters. There are characters like that. I know this. I can't give you an example because I can't think of one, but there are characters like this.
Okay.
And so
okay.
That's basically it, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you both so much. Guys, once again, just as a reminder, you're not choosing who you agree with. This is not based on who you inherently agree with. This is based on who you believe made the better argument. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate it. This was a very interesting topic, and I do see where you're both coming from. This one is especially something that I did think about myself, and I do agree with Charles to an extent that, like, there are characters out there who have a specific toolkit that if you do not equalize that one part of their toolkit, then they basically just, like he mentioned with Asta, just a guy with a sword. One could say that, you know, but I also see from Lapis's perspective where, like, you know, a character is given limitations for a reason. A character is written in a specific way. Maybe an ability has a specific kind of limitation that should be considered and should be taken into should be taken into consideration, and should be at least something that isn't just simply thrown away, or a condition, whether it's a condition or whether it's a limitation that shouldn't just be thrown away simply because, well, you want to see their abilities work. At the end of the day, I do think that you both made good points. Thank you so much for joining. Is there any final debate anyone would like to cover? I think we could do one more. These are the final topics that we can cover. Don't worry, I will keep these all saved up just in case, so that way if we do this again, we have more conversations that we can cover. But yeah, thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
All right, I will. Unless somebody wants to debate me on
yeah,
outside using sources outside of the manga when like debating specifically like Battle Shonen.
So to clarify, does anybody here believe in the position that when scaling anime/manga, we should only use the manga for scaling? I'll take the all magic and against it. Okay, or we have another one here. There's also, should all magic be considered the same thing regardless of the verse? By the way, see you later, Zod. I appreciate you. Love you too, my guy.
I was reading what this one guy was saying about anti-magic being like energy.
Yeah.
Like anti-energy thing. That's really interesting. I would love to hear what you guys say on that.
I don't have a personal take since I haven't read Black Clover past casual read-throughs. I must be late. Did you see Emu? He looks cool. Yeah, we've seen Emu. I just subscribed. What do you guys... When do you guys usually do these debates so I can try one of these? This is something that we're trying out that's new, Draymond. This is something that we're trying out, just like a beta test. I might actually eventually turn one of these in... Bro, ain't say bye to me? That's unfortunate. You're more than welcome to join the Discord server now. This is going to be like a mini server that we're just going to have up for this kind of discussions. 6, if you'd like to just add anything to that topic of conversation, you're more than welcome to. But overall, if anybody has a position that they want to defend, you're more than welcome to do it right here about how to power scale without bias. There's always going to be a bit of bias regardless of what it is. It's you can't inherently make a scaling video without bias unless a series just gives you all the information just verbatim and there's nothing to even remotely interpret. But I do want to say, if you guys want to join, the description is, there is a tagged link right here for the Discord server. You're more than welcome to join, and if you do join, you're more than welcome to just simply type in what your position is on chat right here, and then we'll find you guys a matchup, okay?
Yo, Yon.
Yeah, what up?
Before the next debate, can I clear up a little misconception real quick?
Sure, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm gonna step out for a second.
So, in the last debate, I heard bro talking about how Asta can only negate magic, and without verse equalization, anti-magic would be useless out of verse. But this just isn't the case, since anti-magic is consistently referred to as anti-energy in the data books, and the definition of anti-energy is something that negates all energy. This would not just include magic, and the only reason it's like referred to as anti-magic within the story is because that's the primary thing it negates. It's just an observation made by the characters. This is consistent as Oz is able to negate Yorioku. While it's stated to be very similar to magic, it's like its own distinct power system. It's not the same thing as magic. That's all I had to say.
Cool. Cool. I reached the arc where the giant islands and they were fighting against 3 guys. Nice. Sweet. Thank you for that, 6. Okay, we see a couple of people here. Does anybody here... What? Okay. We got like 4 more people here. I need to first know in chat what you guys want to debate and what your positions are. We need to find some matchups, because if you guys are all doing like different debates, then we can't we can't have it all. So I'm just gonna remove you guys real quick. I'm gonna disconnect everybody from the Discord call real quick, and you guys can just reconnect back in when you guys get a chance. Okay, go to memes. Sure. The god of Shinobi after Yasakani no Magatama. Alright. Sent that by accident, by the way. You're fine. Yeah, sure. You totally did that by accident. Alright, that's enough of that. Okay. Santa, you seem to join back in. Again. Me and Moloch, Big Mom? Okay, I'm sorry. You and Moloch, Big Mom. Perfect. Moloch, sorry about that. Come back in. Why D&D solos any verse? Sure. Here's one Kaido can take. We've already actually talked about that one, Lego Ninja. We've already discussed Kaido and versus Luffy on Elbaf. Okay, so since Sana joined in first, just present your positions first, and then we'll give you guys a chance to go back and forth. Again, you guys don't have to like exacerbate your points too far and deep wide. Just sort of let's constrain them into something that is consistent and something that can easily be reflected. Santa, since you joined first, you're more than welcome to go.
So yeah, it was my first time debating since a while, for about like 2 years.
Fine.
So yeah, I know how to. Now I know how to make a better argument.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So
it's all about learning.
Big Mom, I'm gonna stand as a defender of Big Mom. I don't think she's the weakest one, but it's not necessary that there is a big difference between all of the Yonko in terms of power. Yeah.
So you're saying Big Mom is not the weakest, right? Just to be clear.
Yes.
Okay.
So what my argument would be is that when we saw that Big Mom was able to take a lot of okay, no, let me go over the Kaido. Yeah. She and Kaido had a big long battle for about 3 days that took both were on equal terms. None of them came out like very scarfed from the battle, which probably implies that both of them were on equal footing. And then when you consider that the Big Mom is considered one of the most dangerous people in the world, even the Roger didn't want any smoke with Big Mom, so he just kind of like sneaked into her territory and just stole the poneglyphs. He didn't want any smoke with her, that crazy woman. And another point would be that I believe Blackbeard is currently no. Are we taking Yonkos before Luffy or like
anyone that has earned the title of Yonko, not including Buggy, obviously. If you're gonna do every Buggy, you're gonna have to argue Mihawk.
No. Buggy is the strongest one.
Yeah. So the strongest one. He's still holding back. We'll see his awakening on the last chapter.
Yeah. So okay, if we're taking any Yonkos, so I would say the Luffy and Blackbeard currently are both the weakest ones. Luffy, in terms of the current power, he's a Yonko. Yeah, he's much stronger than any admiral, but his stamina is very lacking. And then he has a great how to say AP, but since his stamina is lacking, he probably is the weakest Yonko currently. And Blackbeard, he doesn't have much showings yet, and he as a character is more of a planner or more of an opportunist in if he can win in the fight, he will fight with someone. Like for example, Law. He knows that Law is no hockey man, so he could have taken him. He took him for a fight, so because he can like take out all of his powers. Yeah, but Big Mom, we saw her fighting against Law and Kid, which I need to remark, they both are very very strong. I believe both of them can take out admirals, just like Luffy, and she took all of the awakenings, fled to the chest, and even Kid's one that was very dangerous and was considered one of the most destructive one by Shanks. That's why Shanks attacked immediately Kid. She just took that blast straight to the chest and even said that this was tickling. Yeah. For example, Law, he like pierced his sword up until like the core of the island, like got to the magma, and she still was a bit more. She still kind of like was unfazed. She still was very. No, I mean she did took a lot of damage, but she was still very active and was about to like kill Law if he was standing there for a bit more and the floor didn't like fall underneath her. That's it. The end of the point.
Okay. Moloch?
All very interesting things. I do agree that Big Mom is incredibly strong. However, the question is, who was the weakest among the Yonko? And you mainly just talked about Big Mom's strength as a fighter. However, there's more to that when it comes to being a Yonko. When you actually look at Big Mom from every angle, even if you like take in her influence over Tato Land and the underworld, she by far and away wasn't really moving like the other Yonko. Even current Buggy, yes, I'm unironically talking about Buggy. Even current Buggy currently has like the Marines at the balls right now because of what he's doing with the bounty posters with the Marines. And even when you look at all the other,
not gonna lie, the buggy, yeah,
Oh,
the
hold
buggy
on.
one is so cool.
Hold on, Zeno. let them finish first.
right? So, and when you look at other things like Big Mom mainly only controls Tato Land, which is cool because Tato Land is like a really big area, especially when you really analyze it. But Whitebeard had influence around the entire New World and assumably Grand Line. Whitebeard had people that he could just send out, and it would just like create influences and whole wars. Like you remember, even in the pre-time skip, Buggy was afraid of even looking at Ace the wrong way when Ace first popped up. That's how much influence Whitebeard has. Whitebeard has so much influence, even as a old sick man, that Shanks himself personally had to pull up. The same person who went and stopped the war, the same person that everyone's gassing to high heaven, that Shanks had to go and stop Whitebeard. Blackbeard, yes, I agree that Blackbeard right now, he could definitely use some improvement, but he took over all of Whitebeard's territory, already proving that in terms of superior like force strength, he has the superior like strength to Whitebeard. At the very least, the Whitebeard we see at the time of the story when he's a Yonko. And even Luffy too, he also has territories under his belt now. He has Wano, he has Fishman Island, he has his humongous ass Grand Fleet that he could theoretically just summon at any time, like Thrag fucking did in the fucking Invisible comics. Like all the Yonko currently, of course, Kaido, right? Kaido also had world government influence because he was giving them weapons. Like you see that when it comes to like a grander influence, not just strength, but like grander influence, Big Mom wasn't really as influential as the other Yonko were. And I think that because of that, she really was like the weakest Yonko. And even if you wanted to get into strength, which I don't want to because then we have to talk about Mihawk. Even if we did talk about strength, Big Mom, when you analyze her, like when you look at every other Yonko, all the other Yonko have one thing in common. Even Whitebeard, because of the Ace Light novel, they all had one thing in common, and that thing is they were all actively still fighting while controlling their territories. But we know from the Whole Cake Island arc that Big Mom mostly dealt with stuff diplomatically. They even stated like when Kid and Rose was going to attack her, that even though they beat the Biscuit Generals, nobody had gone up to Big Mom at that point. Big Mom was not fighting. She's not really a fighter. She was using her strength more so as a means to an end. I think that because of that, she is not really keeping up in terms of like her combat strength, and I think that she was genuinely just out of shape compared to the Arianka. And you could say, oh well, Big Mom was fighting against Kaido. It's like, yeah, base form, not even serious. They weren't even hurting each other. Like, as far as we know, Kaido never went hybrid against Big Mom. Like, that's how much like we don't know about Kaido versus Big Mom. Big Mom really was like not at her best. I think maybe at her best, she theoretically could be among the stronger ones, but the Big Mom that we see in the story in terms of overall influence, because that also matters towards being Yonko, and also even her strength, debatably, she really might have been genuinely the weakest one.
Okay. So I think that like a lot of what your arguments essentially boil down to comes from like territory, right? That likely Big Mom had some of the smallest territory within the Grand Line. Sorry, within the New World. But
well, yeah, that was a part of it.
Okay. Just trying to like compare, because like I said, you guys have like long points. So
yeah.
Sana, do you have anything you wanna counter? Do you have anything you wanna add?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to keep this one shorter.
Yeah. Just try to like focus on a specific point. Again, you guys have multiple times. You guys can go back and forth. You guys don't have to like expand upon it a little bit more, because I did lose a little bit through that. But anyway, Sana. No. You're fine. This is good for everybody, because it also teaches me how exactly I need to run this just better on my end too. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Sana, your turn.
So I will tackle a couple of your points about Big Mom's influence. So yeah, when you compare Big Mom to someone like Whitebeard, it's obvious that she doesn't have much influence over like Whitebeard does, because Whitebeard is one of the most prestige and considered the strongest pirate in the world. But I mean, while he was living, the strongest man in the world. So that kind of like puts her into isn't a great position, because it's a Whitebeard we're talking about, and compare her to someone like Kaido, someone like Luffy, Shanks, and others. She pretty much is the strongest Yonko in terms of like territories, influence, and all of that, because like even right now I'm looking at the map of the Totland. I counted more than 30 islands over her control, and that's a lot, because of all Yonko that we know, none of them has so much influence over the islands like the Big Mom has, and over like the nations. For example, the Fishman Island, the Fishman country, she had like pretty much colonial regime there, where she wouldn't attack them or like destroy them as long as they gave her what she desires, the sweets, which are like considered one of the best in the world. That was one of the part of her influence. Another one is that the other Yonkers are not. Again, coming back from my topic, other Yonkers don't want any smoke with her. Kaido was scared when she said she was coming to the Wano. Roger didn't want to fight her and just sneak into her island and took away the poneglyphs. I love the fact that you specified that let's not use the strength, because this is something that Big Mom excels on the influence, because while the strength is debatable for her, her influence is not. That's the end of the argument.
Okay. Moloch?
I greatly disagree with your take on Tatoland, because yes, while Tatoland is a lot of islands, 30 islands, like that is a lot of islands, they all are generally within the, not even generally, they all are in the same area of the New World. That small territory, even though it's a lot of islands, again, most of the islands that we saw, if you go through that arc, they're not big islands, like, at all. They're pretty small. Most of them are really just, like, small, fun-sized, themed islands like the Chocolate Island, the Nuts Island, that people were just casually running through. Like I even remember Capone shipped casually in like a few minutes, went from one side of the island to the other. Like these islands are not big; they're really small. And even then, if you compare it to Luffy, like Luffy only has 2 territories, but we know that Wano is absolutely gargantuan. Wano is so big it has its own ocean. Like, and you talk about her having influence over Fishman Island. Who took that influence from her? Luffy, because now they're flying Luffy's flag. They're not even part of Big Mom's. They're not even part of like Big Mom's system anymore. Big Mom's organization, in fact, is in shambles right now. If we're talking about currently, and part of the reason for that is because, like, truthfully, poor leadership. She had poor leadership, and that's part of the reason why her organization is currently crumbling to dust as we speak. So, even if you wanted to argue that Big Mom was stronger than the other ones, because the biggest aspect of Yonko is having such an influence, and now we are seeing in real time that even after her death, her influence is crumbling. Like, the only reason Blackbeard's influence crumbled, no, sorry, the only reason Whitebeard's influence crumbled and went away was because Blackbeard directly challenged it, and he had knowledge of Whitebeard's territory, so he knew how to move. But Big Mom's is struggling because she effectively left them, and they just couldn't do anything when she left. They were screwed. And because of that, like, I can say that she was not nearly as good as a Yonko as any of the other ones, even Luffy, even current Luffy.
Okay. Sana, do you have any final point you'd like to cover or anything you'd like to tackle?
Yeah, sure. The last point will be about like the Big Moms and her influence and that the islands are not that big, yeah, and all of that. She's the only Yonko that we know that has such an influence, and this was even one of the points in the Totland arc, that she is one of the most like she covers one of the largest territories in the New World. Essentially, New World is her territory. Like, for example, we don't know if Shanks has any territories. The only territory we saw is the one that Bartolomeo had attacked. Yeah, the only one country. No, it was even the island. It wasn't even the country. And Kaido, he had only Punk Hazard and the Wano, as far as we know of. Yeah, Wano is gigantic, but Totland is also a very gigantic archipelago of islands. For example, Whitebeard, and the only one who had more territories than her, probably, I'm assuming. Blackbeard took all of them because, as you said, he was working with him. He knows all of the nitty-gritty of the stuff. So for him to take over the Whitebeard's territories after his death was much easier for anyone who isn't the part of his crew or wasn't familiar with him, yeah? And Luffy, as you said, he has only 2 territories that we know of, the Wano and the Fishman Island. And the fact that Luffy took away her territory, is just disingenuous for Big Mom, because we never got to see her coming back to Fishman Island, or like we saw that Luffy when he pulled up on Totland, yeah, she was like very raged about, you took away my territory, now I will destroy you, and she kind of did, yeah. At that point, Luffy had no answer to her. And for example, Kaido, the only territory that we know is Punk Hazard, which is like pseudo territory of his, and the Wano. Yeah, the end of my point.
Okay. Moloch, anything? Yeah.
Like the way you talk about Kaido not having a lot of territories. You talk about Punk Hazard and Wano, but Kaido actually controlled a lot more than just that. Because remember, Kaido also controlled Dressrosa through Doflamingo, and through Doflamingo he had crap tons of influence. Because yeah, Doflamingo was 100% Kaido's subordinate at the time, so he had a ton of influence through the underworld market, through Doflamingo, to the point where, remember, he was making active weapon deals with the world government. Like, part of the reason why the world government didn't want to mess with him wasn't just his strength, it was because they were actively using Kaido as an asset. That is not something you could say about Big Mom. when they look at Big Mom, they only saw her as a threat because of her strength. Kaido was a threat because of his strength and the fact that they actually needed him. And when you talked about Luffy at the time not being able to do anything against Big Mom, but during that period of time, Luffy wasn't even a Yonko yet. He was only a Yonko because of Big News Morgan's in the newspaper. But at that time, everyone like called it out, like, "Oh, this isn't official. He's not actually a Yonko." Like everyone called that out. He wasn't actually Yonko at the time. He only became a Yonko after the defeat of Big Mom and Kaido. At which point, he actually was like proved himself to be a competent Yonko. He took over Wano as a country, and at that point in time, like he was actually capable. I do understand, like looking at Big Mom, she did have a decent amount of influence over a lot of different places. And oh my god, I just realized that take you said about Shanks. Shanks does. Yeah, I gotta talk about this. Shanks does have plenty of territories. He even says that he could protect not just territories, but tons of like smaller captain crews that are weak in fodder. Think about that. He doesn't even think they're valuable. But Shanks has so much influence that he can literally protect people who are very obviously fodder, and no one will touch them because they know that Shanks has their back. Think about that. A whole crew of fodder, a whole fleet of fodder, and not a single one of them is touchable because of one dude's name.
All right.
Even Kai. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I think you've made your point. Thank you both. Okay, so guys, for the poll that I put up real quick, again, it's not about who you agree with. It's more so about who do you guys think made the better argument. By the way, thank you guys so much again for showing up. You guys have been absolutely wonderful, and just even having the confidence in coming up here and putting your voice out for this. I really do appreciate you guys. Just to inform the people that have been joining up a little bit late, we're having just some debates here. Nothing that really requires like evidence or a lot of research behind, just opinions and stuff like that. Just seeing how argumentation can work between our viewers and members. Seeing if anybody wants to work upon their debate skills. Zana, Molly, seriously, that was a good back and forth. I think you both brought up some very interesting points.
Thanks, Zana. That was fun. That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah. I think you guys both brought up very interesting points. I do see where your both of your perspectives are. I mean, Big Mom just seems very contentious, just because she is not someone who is ever necessarily taken as a joke when we're talking about the vast majority of the verse. But then when we see her in comparison to like the other Yonko, she does seem a bit of like a bumbling idiot at times, you know what I mean, with like Frankie and Brooke also rolling a car up at her face and everything, just choices Oda makes on characters, but I do think that you both made pretty decent arguments to substantiate your points.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I think from like the writing perspective, I think it was his point to write Big Mom as that incompetent dictator that doesn't know what he's doing because he's just a giant baby. I think that was beautiful.
Yeah. Real quick. So 6. Yeah, I think it's fine for now. If we get like more people trying to join in and do stuff, then we'll fix that up. We'll set that up later. But yeah. No, I see what you're saying, Santa.
Okay, I'm disconnected.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We can maybe do one more of these if everybody's down. Let's actually change it up from like One Piece and maybe talk about some Naruto real quick. I really do appreciate you guys. I know that there was also some conversations here. I know that Bob said that he wanted to talk about the admirals. If anyone wants to use anything else, if anybody would like to talk anything regarding Naruto specifically, if anybody wants to talk about, like, is pixel scaling reliable? Is Garling a good father? Was Danzo actually evil? Is Itachi the best Genjutsu user in the Uchiha? You guys are more than welcome to. If not, I really appreciate everybody coming in and, just having these chats with me. Also, I know that we went over this last week, but John the Maven, just to add, because I did see a couple of your comments before. So in regards to like the stream from last week, or at least like, the stream and responses and stuff like that, I think it's all fine. I do fundamentally disagree with certain other power scalers based on like certain metrics that they kind of want to use, etc. But I don't think it's necessarily a massive issue. I think that I just scale things differently than they do. They view things differently than I do. They interpret things differently, and I think that's completely fine. I don't really want to blow it out of anything. You know, it doesn't have to be drama of any kind. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. So I just kind of move on ahead. But I do think that this topic of debating versus power scaling is one that we should have more within these communities, because as I mentioned before, you don't have to be a good debater. Whoa, what's good, Bob?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, let me yeah. Let me just mute you real quick. I'll mute in a second. Essentially, you don't have to be a good debater to be a power scaler, and you don't have to be a good power scaler to be a debater, right? All that matters is how confident, how reasonable you are. A very fair and reasonable response. You sure you're a power scaler? I am. I just feel like I'm probably on the, I feel like I'm probably just older than a lot of these guys, so I just see things from maybe like a more seasoned perspective, I guess would be the term. That server also tried to refute that Luffy is FTL, and I looked at the yellow data book, and the English translation used exceptional, which, if quantifiable, can be like 5 to 10 times, I think. That's fine. Sorry about that. Would anybody like to debate Yonko versus Admirals against Armad here? Bob. By the way, how you doing, Bob? How you been, man?
So, I was actually going to suggest, since you were kind of like, suggest to move on to something else, we could talk about, you know, which series is better, like One Piece or Naruto? Oh, hey, Drake.
What's good, Drake?
Oh,
well,
what's good?
The question is who debating for what side? Because I'm against Admiral.
I'm for Admiral.
Oh, so I guess we have one right here. But let's let Bob finish their thought first, and then we'll move on. Okay.
I was just gonna say, another topic you could throw up is, you know, which series is better, One Piece or Naruto, which, you know, I have my own thoughts on that.
All right, sure. I could throw that in there. I definitely like just very subjective questions that don't really need like a lot of answered, more so, you know, just people just adding in their 2 cents into everything. And I think it just adds to, which series is better. And, like, I don't personally care if, like, the arguments are, like, fantastic either, obviously. I mean, we had somebody earlier here argue that, like, no, they just think that that Dragon Ball Super's cool, and I think they actually won that side of the debate. So I mean, you sometimes just need to be funny, right? Sometimes whoever just makes the better argument, if it's funny, it's probably better. I will save these though. Better series, which series is better, Naruto or One Piece? Naruto or depends on the Admiral. Am I right, Sigs? All right, Naruto or One Piece. All right, so you both are more than welcome. Don't do which is better. That's some playground shit. We could do some playground shit. It doesn't have to. After all, what we're doing here is not talking about objectivity. What we're doing here is just simply making an argument, simply developing an argument and seeing how we can improve upon it, right? So I'll go over more of this throughout the week if I do end up streaming. I'll go throughout this more often throughout the week on developing arguments, making better debates, etc., etc., etc. But for now, I just wanted to see this as like a bit of like a trial period. That's why I threw in a couple of like One Piece only debates. I'm looking for folks to join the discussion. I'd be happy to jump in. I know Naruto decently well. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything really long. It doesn't have to be like, well, Naruto's cool because of this. It could be like Naruto's just really cool. We have ninjas. One Piece has like really fucking good like writing or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Some of these topics can be a lot more subjective than the others. It's fine. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Bob?
Oh, I was just gonna say I have some, like, I fuck heavy with Naruto, but I do think, and this might sound a little much, but I don't even think it reached to like half of what it could have been. But that's just me.
That's reasonable.
I can agree on that. It's my issue with Naruto has always been the world building side of things.
Got you.
It kind of has the Star Wars, like the Clone War situation where we hear about the Ninja Wars, but it's like, okay, what were the Ninja Wars about?
Mm-hmm.
And you get a big blank or in the sense it's going to be vague in the sense of like, oh, it was for land resources, but it's like, that's it.
But
that's a completely different debate or discussion.
Yeah. So Do you want to go first, Drake, or?
If you want me, yeah, sure. So
Sure.
the reason why I believe the admirals are lesser to the Yonko is mainly because for individuals who are considered so powerful, they haven't really done much to oppose the expansion and growth of the Yonko in general. Like in the sense of like how Big Mom has increased her influence, how Kaido has increased his influence. You know, Whitebeard until his death, but that was really more of like him. You know, that was more of like he walked into that battle and he lost in that kind of sense. But it's more of the sense that these, and you know, the Yonko aren't like, you know, with the main ones, they haven't been around recently. They've been around for like decades. The Navy knows where they are. They know, you know, they know the territory lines and such. But they sort of just let them exist as they are doing their things, and obviously there's the complications of like war and conflict. But if the admirals are as strong as some people say, because they make them sound like, you know, a Yonko could go 1v1 on any Yonko, which I find very, very doubtful. Even if they could get them into like, you know, like even if they could, let's just say like, you know, the Yonko, you put an admiral, you put a Yonko in your DBZ wasteland and you have them fight, I don't think it would be as clean cut as some people make it sound.
Okay. So Drake, to carry your position, right? You think that the admirals are extremely powerful, but you don't think that in terms of a full 1v1 they fully stack up?
Yeah, that's my argument on it.
Okay. Also, hi, Matsukami. All right, Bob, take it away whenever you want. You can either first explain your point through and through, and then you guys can just tackle each other's points as you go along.
Okay, so I guess so what am I gonna sass my point? Then we're gonna rebuttal.
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other, right?
You guys can rebuttal each other. You guys can add more to your point. Just try to make it clear and concise. You guys don't really need to go into too many side tangents. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't have any skids on hand to really solidify.
Yeah,
so
no. It's just a matter of opinion at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Admirals versus Yonko, Akatsuki versus Bungus. You know what I'm saying? It's just up to how we can develop our arguments to be better, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think the admirals and the Yonko are essentially equal to one another. They're both like, I guess you could say like the ceiling, or not the ceiling, but you know, they're really up there in the verse. For one, on a narrative scale, they're pretty much treated as similar, right? Luffy acknowledges them both as like equal paths in the way to becoming king of the pirates. Kobe needs to become an admiral to, you know, stop Luffy, who will be king of the pirates. This is also further reestablished with, you know, Garp and Roger duking it out for ages. Not to mention, like, admirals have pulled up or have suggested to pull up on Yonkos multiple times. Garp did it against Roger and God Valley. Sengoku was going to do it against Roger and Shiki. Kizaru was going to do it against Big Mom.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm really sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Let's not hype up Sengoku. That guy's a fraud. Anyway.
My bad.
Overruled.
I spoke. My bad.
You spoke out of line. You spoke out of line for a second.
He who shall not be named pulled up on Roger and Shiki. How about that? Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Kizaru pulled up. Suggested to pull up on Kaido and Big Mom. Hell, Rainbow beat Weevil, who was hyped up to being as strong as Whitebeard. There's like multiple other instances of this. But like generally speaking, they're treated as equals and they fight as equals, and any of the like interactions that people use to try and downplay them generally have context that kind of just undercuts that whole argument. So yeah, that's my stance.
Okay, so
all
Drake,
right.
Yeah, Drake, do you have anything you'd like to?
And again, I'm like, what I'm arguing isn't the fact that, like, you know, the admirals are strong. They are very strong for what they can do, and they also, of course, have a lot of they have a ludicrous amount of resources and manpower. But admittedly, the one of the reasons, and I guess this is not personally related to the Yonko, I just don't think the Navy and the Marines have enough heavy hitters between, like, you know, underneath admirals compared to like what the Yonko crews have. Like,
So,
in the
sorry,
sense of like if you take like more of the, you know, the named, you know, the Yonko commanders and the other named subordinates within the Yonko crews, they have a lot more power and ability of variety compared to what the Marines have. But that's more of, but again, that's more of like in the sense of like, you know, the related resources kind of thing. But yes,
so-
with the Yonko themselves, like, again, they also have like a lot of, you know, again, their own political, you know, their own power in the sense that if they haven't been opposed for all these years, even when they're like early on when they were probably at their most vulnerable, it makes me question, like, how come did the Navy just allow it because, you know, it's a manpower and control issue, or is it because it's more of the fact that they might not be able to win? That's kind of that is the big kind of question on the whole thing. Like, did the Navy not fight the Yonko because they can't win, or is it too costly to win?
Okay. Bob?
So it's one of those two. It's like, is it too costly to win, or is it not possible to win?
Well, to rebuttal to your point, essentially, it's already been established that the Marines are the strongest, like, organization on the seas. And second, in terms of like them letting them be, I mean, we literally know that back in the day, like in Rox's era, that like these powerful pirates were being chased by the Marines. Whitebeard was not safe from them. We saw this in Odin's flashback, even post God Valley. So, and same thing with like even Mihawk was chased away by the Marines after the warlord system got destroyed. The fact of the matter is that the reason why the Yonko are so imposing is a combination between their manpower and their influence. We saw what happened when Whitebeard died. He left a power vacuum, and it took a pretty decent amount of resources for the Marines to, you know, take him out. And that was just like a sick beard, right? I mean, we literally see this like with Rainbow and Wano. It's like not too many people want to fight Kaido because it'll just be an outright war, and war's costly, right? It takes a lot of resources and manpower. And we see in current day that the Marines were fairly stretched out. So it's not that the Marines can't necessarily beat them. It's just that's too many resources, and that just takes too much time. Not to mention it would leave them vulnerable to possible other attacks as well. So, yeah.
And so in this case, you're admitting that that fighting the Yonko is too costly in this sense.
Sure,
And
like
again,
I said,
that's kind of a problem more in the sense that the Marines should have done better if mattering on when the admirals, like our current admirals, were like, you know, in the ranks of the Navy back like, you know, the 20 whatever years ago between now and God Valley. They should have stepped up to like take on the Yonko and prevent them from getting as strong as they are. Now they can't. Dismantle them from where they are.
As I said, they kind of did. They just kind of wormed their way away. They actively ran away from the Marines.
That's no excuse. Like, so does that mean like they have like?
Hold on, guys, hold on. Let the other person finish. Let Drake finish. Then you can tackle.
It's like it's no excuse if a character if someone runs away. That's not so much of like in the sense of like oh, like Kaido's so strong he should be able to fight them off. It's like, well, there's almost the whole point of being strategic, and obviously the Marines have not been really strategic when it comes to handling things, probably because they have to deal with the needs of the celestial dragons and such, and thus they waste more resources taxing much more weak, you know, like you said with the Navy and the world government, they do have a lot of territory that they have to manage. But the thing is, when you look at like all the territory they're controlling, they don't really need to like use excessively powerful, you know, manpower for the such thing. They just need a Navy base. They just need like hundreds or thousands of normal stock troops to just maintain things. They don't have to be violent about it, compared to like how Yonko control things in some of their territory as well. But it's just more the fact that the Navy is too reliant on their big heavy hitters, and they can't use them effectively. Because if they had, if they didn't invest so much into just the admirals, because let's face it, the admirals are kind of their big guns, and while the vice admirals can obviously do things in a pitch, they're much stronger as a unit, not so much as on an individual level compared to like what an admiral can do. And so it kind of comes down to like if one admiral cannot equal up to one Yonko, as we're trying to go with, like that's the main debate, that one admiral equals one Yonko. Like you put one Akanyu or Kizaru, like any of or Green Bull or whatever, like and then you have them go against like Big Mom or Kaido. Then it should be like they should be equal in strength, but right. I disagree on that, and that's kind of my main argument on that. Like they just don't equal up as much, I believe, as some people like to believe. Would it be an easy fight? No, it wouldn't be It wouldn't be like a stomp fight. But I just don't see any admiral winning in a 1v1 with any of those kinds of characters.
Got you. Bob, do you have any counters for that? So,
well, you're essentially, from what I've seen was your argument, you're mostly arguing from an organizational standpoint. You kind of haven't really, like, responded to anything I brought up, like the fact that we literally know that, Green Bull beat up Weevil, or that the admirals have, like, actually been betrayed and have pulled up on the Yonko to be equal. Whether you believe that from, like, an organizational standpoint that the Marines should have been done better doesn't really matter. We're talking about whether or not that, admirals are equal to Yonko, or, like, who's stronger or whatever. And, well, I've already brought the evidence on, or at least, brought evidence on the table for why they would be. So I'm kind of confused as to why you're harping on, like, oh, the Marines should have done so much better, and that it's no excuse that they just let the Yonko grow to be so strong or whatever. It's like, that's just like a systematic critique, and like that's just another argument entirely. So, like, I'm just confused.
I mean, considering we know that the Navy have captured Kaido multiple times and have lined him up for execution, yet they couldn't.
So wait, sorry to cut you off. So you agree that, like, the Marines are strong because they captured Kaido, like, just flat out beat him.
But at the same time, they couldn't kill him at the same time. So
but they captured him.
That's also another thing. Like, if they can't permanently, if they couldn't imprison him or they couldn't dispose of him. That also kind of should, like, in the sense that they couldn't say, Akanu, can you come over here and just feed Kaido a mouthful of lava? But if obviously they either never thought about that, or they just couldn't or that wouldn't work. That kind of situation. So it's like if they had Big Mom and they decided, okay, we're gonna put a bullet in her head, but it's like, well, the bullet didn't work because she's too tough. That's kind of the whole situation. If they've had situations where they could get rid of a Yonko, which again they had with Kaido in the past. It's confirmed that they've captured him before, and maybe this was before even he got the fish fruit. But still, even when that means even a weaker Kaido, before he even was Yonko level, was unkillable by the Navy. At the time.
Got you. Bob, do you have one final point to add, or do you guys want to wrap it up?
Sure, I'll add, like, one more thing to it.
Yeah.
So, as for, like, your Kaido thing, doesn't really matter. Kaido wasn't anything of significance when he got captured multiple times. You're talking about baby Kaido. Why would they bring a whole admiral down just to kill a child? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Second of all, as I said before, you're going back to the organizational thing, which we've kind of already discussed that, yeah, it would take a lot of manpower, but we're ultimately talking about Admiral v. Yonko and an ISO, not as an organization. And, well, you still haven't really responded to any of the points or evidence I brought up thus far on, like, why Japanese just don't want to really deal with the Yonko just straight up. If I
can give my finer counter argument about.
Well, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Sorry. Let me just finish up.
Yeah.
and whatnot. And as I said, narratively, they've been pretty much equalized to the Yonko. They've pulled up on the Yonko numerous times and fought them to a stalemate before. And, kind of goes back to my point, like, they are equal. So I don't really get your point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then if we want to cover that detail, I'll just be blunt on why I don't think the Admirals match up, in the sense that none of them show anything like overly special when it comes to hockey. None of them have conquerors. They have shown degrees of advanced armament in hockey,
Except for Garp.
We've seen that when it comes to the as early as the the pre-time skip war with against Whitebeard and such. But it's more the fact that they just haven't really shown as strong skills when it comes to the hockey side of things. They're a lot more reliant when it comes to their devil fruits, and I just don't think, even if they're Logia, they're not going to do as good against the likes of the Yonko, who have shown pretty outstanding showings when it comes to their devil fruit powers, especially Kaido, considering he's shown probably one of the best when it comes to armament, and also like with his observation hockey. And again, this is not to say that the Admirals would get one shot, or they would one shot Kaido, or anything like that. I just think when it comes down to like, if you had both sides like in a kind of like wasteland situation, no backup, at full health, I just don't see the Admirals peeking out, especially that about Akininu, because like, look, he's been stuck with a death stop for 2 years, and even when he had a fight with Kuma, he couldn't even take out Kuma in that point. If Akininu is as strong and powerful and capable as people say, he should have been able to take out Kuma much more capably. So what is he going to do against the likes of someone who's actually trying to fight and give it their all, like Kaido? That's kind of one of my things. And I'll consider this me just dunking on Akininu, but that's just my argument. I just don't think the Admirals have shown enough to really match up into a full-on fight against the likes of like a 1v1 against Kaido. But if it was more of like a 2v or 3v, then the skills tip. But that's my argument when it comes to like.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so I think you both have been given an equal number of chances to talk. Wait, who went first? Bob went first, right?
No, that was Drake.
Drake? Okay, so Bob, you get one more chance, and then we'll end it up there, okay?
Okay, cool. So I guess getting back to the point, in terms of like the whole hockey thing, for one, as I've already pointed out, Green Bull beat Weevil. He's as strong as Whitebeard, so like I don't really see that mattering as much. And even then, it's kind of implied that they do have Conqueror's hockey. If we go back to Dressrosa and Chinjiao talking about what's needed to become king of the pirates, he's talking about you need to beat all the Supreme Kings, and he brings up both the Yonko and the Admirals. As I said, the Yonko and the Admirals have continuously been compared to one another as equals. Garp having Conqueror's hockey, the one who will not be named also has Conqueror's hockey as well. So even then, it's like they pretty much are equal in that regard. Not to mention they also have advanced armament and arguably future sight as shown in Marineford. And I believe you're bringing up like a point on Kaido not being able to kill Kuma. Kaido could even kill Kinemon, right? And he was like near death, and he still couldn't take him out. Like that's just something in One Piece in general that characters will survive a lot of ridiculous stuff. So I wouldn't use that point against them. But as I've already brought up numerous times, narrative supports them being equal. They've shown to be equal in their fights. Characters treat them as equal. Like it's just all over the manga. So yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
I think we've all made our points. I'm gonna stick with the fact that I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay.
With what I've stated, so you know.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Thank you both so much. Let's put this up on a poll. Let's see what everybody seems to think. Hey, what's up, Zedoxter? How's everybody doing? Bro, I was trying to make the rules channel. Yeah, my bad, Six. You shouldn't have untimed out fucking Thine. Sorry.
Hey, did you see what we posted in VC chat?
Yes, I've noticed what you guys have posted in chat. I almost timed you out too. Mid fucking call. The things that you guys do when I'm not paying attention. Jesus freaking Christ. Look at all this bullshit. Eon loves beans and bleach and invisible food. What kind of shit is this? I'm trying to promote a fucking healthy yeah. Do not vote for don't vote for the agenda you guys think you agree with. Just vote for who made the best argument. What the fuck? Don't listen to Malevolent Sponge. What the fuck's happening? Alright. Thank you both so what the fuck? Where did you get hieroglyphics? What kind of shit? What kind of shit is this? All right, I don't know. I'm starting to get overstimulated. Okay, I see Thine and I see mistakes, Einstein's mistakes here. Are you guys gonna want to have one channel? I doubled and gave my timeout to the next person. You can't do that. I'm not giving you a chance to do that. Someone's taking that fucking timeout. Why the? What the fuck are you guys posting in my chat? All right, yeah, this was a mistake. This was definitely a mistake. So, Thine, Einstein's mistake. How are you guys doing? You guys want to have you guys want to like present a point, have debate each other? What's up?
Oh, I mean, we could absolutely do that. Is there anything that Einstein's mistake? Is there anything you in particular? Oh.
Here are all the discussions we have.
Let's see. There was the magic one. The magic one sounds fun to me.
Yeah, the magic one was an interesting one that somebody had brought up earlier, so I just decided to write it down. I can write down a couple more here. Obviously, like I said, you don't need to provide any evidence. Just go in, give your opinions, and just try to formulate a constructive and comprehensive argument. Sure, I'll untime you out, Six. You have to pass it to the next person, and I think the next person might be fucking Bob.
I love the fact that this has been here for a while now.
Yeah. And every time I come back and... I think I've seen this like once or twice, and I keep forgetting about it until you guys keep reminding me, and now somebody's gonna have to take a fucking L on it. Where the fuck is Six? Let me untime him out so he can make the rules, and then I'll time out Bob.
Just pass it out to all the
Nah,
other
listen,
mods.
somebody's taking the fucking L. Einstein's mistake.
It was all of us. We do not hide that.
Alright, Einstein's mistake doesn't seem to be talking, so it's fine. I think it's all completely fine. Anybody want to debate whether or not all magic across all verses should be considered the exact same thing? Fantastic. Now I have to randomly find Bob on this. I don't think Bob's typed anything, so I don't think I can do him. Fuck. Alright, might have to do Lapis then.
He's in the side chat. Like, not the...
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Good looks. Just throwing Bob under the bus, I see. Anyway,
Yo, someone call my name?
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to get muted out and timed out. So it's either you, Six, or it's either you or Blapis at this point, because Six is right.
Too fast. Can't test.
Interesting. Here's a 1 hour timeout. I don't know. Anyway, you're a good debater. All right, Boozehound, if you'd like to debate whether or not you believe that all magic should be considered the same across power scaling or across cross-verse debates, you're more than willing to join up. What the fuck is this? Anyway, you can just join the Discord server. It's right here. It's in the pinned comment. And then you can just...
I was going to say, if they want, they could also, mention which one it is.
Yeah.
They're for or against. Because, I am against the notion of using it as the same.
Okay, so... is anyone for the positive end of this? Does anybody think that it would be simpler to make scaling or cross-verse conversations if all magic is equalized. If not, is there any other topic you'd like to discuss, Line?
Oh, jeez. I mean, there's plenty, but really more of them get into like the power scaling than the debating.
I could probably make up a pro argument for this. I don't mind being on the pro end of it.
Okay.
If nobody else is down for it, I can definitely do it. Cause I can definitely make an argument for it. I feel like. So, by the way, how you been, man? It's been a minute.
Oh, I have been fantastic. Med school's med school, you know.
Lovely, lovely. Absolutely love to hear that. John the Maven, hey, fantastic. If you'd like to take the pro position, you're more than welcome to join in. The Discord link is right there. You're more than welcome to join up and join the chat whenever you'd like. Yeah. That's lovely to hear, man. I know med school can't be easy. My sister and my cousins ended up doing a bit of med school themselves when they were in college. I was a kid for the most part, but I do remember them like never hearing from them and just hearing like my sister's notebook at one point. It was like every single page in the notebook, I'm talking about everything within the page was just covered in text and writing. That's just an Eldritch Horror nightmare right there. What the fuck is this? The topic currently is whether or not all magic should be considered the same thing regardless of the verse. I'm assuming in terms of a cross-verse discussion. Isn't it crazy to assume I just can't put it into words? That's completely fine if you can't put it into words. John the Maven, would you be comfortable with joining the Discord chat that's pinned? Hey, what's up, Emu? It's kind of... By the way, Thine, have you been keeping up with King and Omega lately?
Absolutely.
I think that the last few chapters have been quite interesting. A couple of them quite brutal, actually. If I had to be honest.
I mean, look, like you were saying the other day.
Right.
I would prefer to literally get my ass handed by anyone else than the Chinese martial artist stomping out my arms and legs.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
This man disrespected me by throwing rocks with his feet and then proceeded to bust my fucking legs and arms in. I'm good.
Bro had them crazy ass grippers. Jesus Christ. You can actually see like how the their knuckles are just busted wide open. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's the thing. They call it an earthquake stomp, at least according to the series. I think that it's one of those techniques that, like, I think like you notice more often so whenever you see any kind of like kung fu or martial arts movies or anything that's like more so exaggerated within the world. I mean, I don't know if they can necessarily like shatter the ground beneath them, but like the fact that he was willing to let the guy even get back up and say, "All right, come, bring it in, fight back." He basically did a fight back, motherfucker, fight back, let him get up. Like, I'm sorry, he did that on a 1v1. That's crazy. But what I wanted to kind of ask you was on Himuro. I think that Himuro was kind of just a throwaway character. I'm going to be so honest with you, especially after this chapter. He landed one hit on Wakatsuki. I think, especially a Wakatsuki that seems to now have added speed more into his repertoire, since we both know, you know, as a combatant, he is more of a power-based combatant, you know. Still uses martial arts, but I mean, superhuman syndrome. The dude's like 5 times heavier than the average person. It's crazy.
Definitely used to, like... increase the hype. He's always been used that way. He's
just an aura farmer for someone else is the problem, and I hate that.
Look. He's just a less successful Gaolon.
Don't say no, because Gaolon was actually, listen, Himuro, basically no hype, basically no actual lore to this guy, just a guy that they paid, you know, he's a really good martial artist, underground, all this shit. Gaolon's the best fucking boxer in the world, what are we talking about? Bro is fought, yo, I'm so mad. Yo. Nah, I comparing him to Gaolon, brother, that shit's crazy. Nah, Himuro, I'm sorry, man, I don't know, because it's like, see, here's the thing. I get where your perspective's coming from, right? I do understand. Himuro's there to, like, create hype-up moments, etc. But it's like, do you...
Oh, yeah, no. That was, like, completely just not actually how I feel about Himuro. Himuro is clearly meant to be, like, a really high tier, like paid mercenary level fighter.
Yeah.
He's not, god tier.
Yeah, he's
But
no.
he's got a decent record, but then he gets whooped by Kaneda
any named
and
character.
Wakatsuki.
Any named character.
Any named character, and he dies. Like,
yeah, so I think the closest thing to I think like one of like the closer comparisons that I could say is like Himuro to me seems like those two guys from Naruto. You know who I'm talking about, right? Those two.
Oh yeah.
He's like, they're supposed to be joning. They're supposed to be like these impressive combatants. They're supposed to be like on this higher tier in terms of like where what we've seen Chunin do throughout the earlier portions of Part 1, throughout the first 235 chapters. But then, and you see them as joning. You think they're supposed to be badasses, but then it's like, no, these guys just get shut down every single time we see them. What the fuck? What's this character's entire existence is here nothing more than to be a stepping stone for somebody else, and I hate it when our writers do that, man. I don't know. But anyway, John the Maven has. By the way, I'm sorry. Any final thoughts, Stein? My apologies.
Oh no, you're fine.
John the Maven, thank you so much for joining. I saw before that you are avid Naruto fan, so thank you for joining.
Indeed.
I welcome anybody from any kind of community to join ours. I want to make power scaling less toxic. I want to have it be actually about conversations about, whether you want to improve your debating skills or whether you want to improve your scaling abilities. I think that's all great. Thank you so much for joining, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, thank you very much for fostering that kind of community. It's something that I think we need more of, like positive discussions and stuff. And thanks for being inviting and everything. I really appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so since Thine joined in first, and we've already heard their position. Thine, would you like to just state out your position? It doesn't have to be anything too long. Just what exactly do you want to argue here?
Sure. So the point I am supporting is that magic should not be held cross-verse as equally the same in all contexts. Just that's the simple version, and we can get into the more complicated version here in a second if you would like to state your point, Maven.
Sure. I don't have a super hardline stance. I just think it's an interesting topic. So I'll try to argue in favor of of magic being treated the same and see how well I can do, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so basically in my experience doing like limited experience with crosswords debates, I think conversations are just made easier if we allow for the magic systems of different universes to interact with one another. Like this whole recent discussion about whether Genjutsu works cross-verse. I would personally prefer to debate about the debate under the assumption that it does, just so that we can give characters their full repertoire of abilities. But to make it into like a positive assertion, like I guess I would say, at the end of the day, magic is just a means for turning someone's willpower or desire or tactics or whatever into energy, and ultimately it's the energy that's clashing. So it doesn't really matter like what the means of creating the energy is. What matters is like what comes out of it. If it's a fireball that's cast via a wizard spell versus a fireball that's cast like made out of chakra, to me they're just two fireballs.
Okay. So you're going with a definitional approach for your positive assertion.
Yeah, or maybe it's I don't know what the right term for it would be, but like at the end of the day, I think what matters is like the energy output or the actual like tangible effect on the world that the jutsu or like
right. Not the
thing
fact
has.
that it's chakra or mana. The fact that both produce a fireball is what.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Okay.
So I understand where you're coming from on that, and I don't hate it because I do believe personally that there is credence, like you were mentioning, in having a more in-depth conversation. And now specifically, when I say magic should not be treated equitably cross-verse, I do not mean you can interact with it, because that would be silly. That would be like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a great example. Their magic is stands, right?
Mhm.
Stands, if you don't have one, you can't see it. You can't interact with it. It just does stuff for the most part. So that puts everyone kind of at a disadvantage if they don't have like some sort of like soul magic of some flavor.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying in the case of like a fireball, like you're saying, like we'll say fireball jutsu from what's his name? Itachi. Right? I think that's perfectly fine for them to interact. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to interact. I'm saying that they should not be treated the same. Because one is from the soul, one is from chakra, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So,
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, go ahead after you, please.
Yeah, no worries. I guess to make sure that we're not just like talking around each other, maybe we should clarify what we mean by like the same. So I guess I assumed it was like the same in terms of like practical combat use or whatever. Are
Right.
you referring to more of it like from a philosophical
Systemic
nature or something
approach.
like that?
Yes, like the like how it's like interacting with other verses, because that's the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, it shouldn't be used at all." And
I
they
see.
use like the genjutsu argument, which is a very, understandable argument because we've all seen the Itachi hits them with whatever that genjutsu is that immediately puts them in like a 72-hour loop of, torture or whatever.
Izanami, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you could call it, Tomato Land. I honestly don't care. We know
They
what
both
we're
have
talking about.
Iza. They
canon,
both
yeah.
they both have Iza na and then whatever what is the consonant
Izanagi
afterwards?
is the one where it like recycles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But right. So again, I'm not saying that they can. I understand where people say, "Oh no, Itachi can't just look at somebody and blast them out if they don't have a chakra network." I understand that because that point comes from frustration, because that's annoying.
Yeah.
That's a really arrogant and kind of up your own butt take.
Yeah.
Not saying you have it, obviously. I'm just saying those people who do argue it do tend to kind of lean in that direction.
There
But
definitely seems to be like a desire to be like before the conversation even starts, my character blitzes one shots and neg diffs your character before they get
right,
like
right.
blink, and that's
It's
kind of
very much
frustrating.
a my dad's better than your dad. Don't even at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, why are you here? Go away. So yes,
It just
I
kind
think
of
we
shuts down the
agree on the point of
conversation.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you and I agree on the point. It should be part of like having a conversation. I'm disagreeing with the idea of it being treated the same. So like, genjutsu is genjutsu. We agree there. But genjutsu and illusion magic, they do the same thing, but they may operate differently as how they achieve this.
Okay.
Does that make
So,
sense?
yeah, I think it does. But let's say we have again, this is sort of devil's advocate position, but let's say if like we have a character who's casting genjutsu, right? They're
Right.
manipulating chakra internally, or like they have to mold the chakra internally and then potentially apply a nature transformation to it if it's something like Flash Pillar, which is like a lightning transformation. Or if it's just like an ocular jutsu like Itachi uses or whatever, then they just activate that and release their chakra. And then there's the semantic details or whatever, like the details of how the chakra interacts with your sensory pathways and eventually gets to your brain. Now let's compare that to a character from, I don't know, like Dungeons and Dragons or something, a character that has like a psionic ability that can induce hallucinations just with like psychic energy. At the end
Okay.
of the day,
So
like
mind flayer.
yeah, that's a great example, right? So at the end of the day, I think that for the purposes of an interesting discussion, if I were in a debate, I would find it less productive to debate the exact mechanism of like how the Mind Flayer gets his psychic attack into the opponent's head. At the end of the day, you could just put both of those two types of attacks into an overall like mind hacks category. And then as long as we can agree that we're just debating the general notion of brain attacks or psychic attacks or whatever, then we can just like use that to make the debate go better, as opposed to nitpicking over like, well, technically speaking, this character doesn't have chakra, so you can't prove that they would be affected by a brain. You know what I mean? Like,
I see where you're coming from, and I understand it perfectly. Again, I think in that case where it's like a general case of, hey, I want this to for us to talk about this, not to just the inner machinations of it all. The mechanics of it, I understand, aren't always the most interesting thing. And the mechanics sort of involve what I'm talking about. It's more the fact of if I have a magic item, right, and it specifically targets an entity through, I don't know, some organ they have, right?
The medulla oblongata
We'll
or some shit.
say their lower left lung, because I don't know, that'll work. But then the character fighting from a different series doesn't have a lower left lung. So one, they can't target it, even if we assume this person was at full health. It's just not going to happen, regardless of the system. Some cases you do have to acknowledge there are designated pathways for it to actually work.
Yeah. Have you seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
Yes.
You know that scene where Frieza's like attacking Piccolo, I think, and he's like, I just hit your glue block, and then
yes,
that's
a great example.
Okay.
I'll just keep shooting until I hit your glue block or whatever.
I'll find it sooner or later. Yeah.
No, but similar principle. It's like, if they don't have a glue block and it targets their glue block, how are you going to hit them with something that targets their glue block?
Yeah.
Or like, and again, like I'm not saying you can't use, I honestly think that if somebody was to sit there and say, Genjutsu arguably goes through the, it would still go through cranial nerves, right? And it would like just overload their head for a second rather than actually put them in a Genjutsu. I honestly think that's a reasonable understanding of how it would interact outside of its own system. But it clearly doesn't always have a pathway to go forward with the intended execution.
That makes sense. I think I can offer like one potential counter argument, but otherwise, like I'm kind of agreeing with you, so I don't want to like belabor the point. But let's just take the example of like in Star Wars, a character in order to like use a force push or something like that, they need to. I mean, I'm not a Star Wars expert, but I guess like they need to tap into the force or have midichlorians or whatever.
Sort of, yeah. I don't know Star Wars the best myself, but
right. So if we assuming that there's some sort of like property or element in the Star Wars universe that they need to harness to be able to use it,
right?
As, like,
so
a
like
power
if it's
source.
like a source from their universe, like I don't know, the Aether or the midichlorians, and this wouldn't be a naturally occurring substance in a crossverse scenario. No, I fully agree. In the case where that is, you should allow them to use that. It's just like I believe if you have Naruto fighting in a crossverse situation, he should still be able to use nature energy because of the definition of nature energy. It's the same reason I believe cursed energy for Jujutsu Kaisen should be applicable in a crossverse situation for curses and sorcerers to be able to interact with it. Otherwise, you're inhibiting them in a way that's just unfair.
So if we were to put like Darth Vader versus Pain or something like that, you'd be willing to just assume that like whatever the excuse or whatever, Darth Vader would still be able to use the Force in that context.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That doesn't. I think you and I agree on this because, well, one, it doesn't really go against the whole magic systems being needed to be treated differently. It just says for the purpose of the exercise of understanding how these two characters would interact in a more natural situation of them fighting, how it would go out.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't really have anything else to add. I think you have the stronger position. I'm happy to concede. Unless there's anything else you want to add.
All right.
No.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, John.
Yeah, same. Fun talk.
yeah, this was fantastic. I'll put up a poll regardless for chat so they can once again just see who the better debater was in their eyes. Again, guys, it's not about who you agree with. It's more so about who you think developed a better argument. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. This was extremely productive. I definitely see there's some teeth to this. We can definitely turn this into some more content in the future. Thank you, Thine. Thank you, Six. Thank you, John. Thank you, I think it was Sana, Moloch, Charles, and Black Yoshi, Bob, Lapis, Six, obviously. Thank you guys all, every single one of you, for helping me out with this little project that we were working on. I think that we can actually do a little bit more with this in the future. I'm down to have another one of these where we just essentially work on our argumentative skills or debate skills. I'll probably put up a stream so that you guys can work so that way we can put together an actual way for not put together. We can sorry, let me slow down. That way, I can have a later stream that essentially helps you guys learn how to develop your arguments a bit better if you guys feel like you might want to work on that. And if not, if you guys want to work a little bit more on power scaling, well, that's what the channel is for. Yeah, seriously. Lovely to see that the community you're anti-mixing magic systems. Pro-mixing magic. Okay. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you. Respect for fostering a positive debate environment for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I know I've been gone for half a year, but I do like checking
Thank you,
in on
Julio.
y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Don. You're always welcome back in the community. You're always welcome to show up. If you ever want to just come in.
I was going to say, I just hit you with a monthly donation. If you want to
Really?
slide me another...
Oh,
yeah,
for
check
sure.
for Kofi.
I'll send it to you right away. I will send it to you right away.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. I always appreciate, not even just the donation itself, but I just always appreciate having people in the community that are willing to
foster
interact.
the good that is there in power scaling. It should be recognized and appreciated.
I appreciate that, man. Seriously. No, seriously. I genuinely do mean that. Listen, here's the thing. Everybody knows that power scaling, whether especially from the most casual fans' perspective, power scaling is innately considered one of the more toxic things that you can have a discussion with over basically anything, right? And you know what? Fine enough. People get very upsetty spaghetti about whether or not your opinion agrees with them. Again, politics, religion, my dad can beat your dad in a fight. Who gives a shit at the end of the day? I think this is just one of those things where, it's a problem within the community that can be slowly dealt with or fixed, etc. By the way, guys, can we get some W's for Julio? Thank you, Julio. Thank you for the 5, and thank you for also being a part of this community. Thank every single one of you as well, seriously. But yeah, no. I want to be able to turn whether or not power scaling makes a lot of money or whether or not it gets a lot of views. I do want to see just the concept in and of itself get a better name, a better rap, because it doesn't have to just be a bunch of people screaming and going into random groups saying rage bait posts like, oh, this random child solo's diverse because I need to get a bit of engagement. It doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? We can actually have real discussions here. And, yeah, I'm just happy to be able to work with people that actually, agree with that. So, thank you guys so much. Einstein's mistakes. I see you came back. Is there anything you wanted to talk about? Or else I am probably just going to end stream here. 6, you're also...
Nah, it's fine, it's fine.
No, what's up, man? How's everything?
I'm fine.
Did you want to... If anything, how about this? Later this week, I will be working on another stream specifically about developing arguments, developing claims, helping debate skills. Both for power scaling and just in general, if you guys just want to have more of these chats. I'll leave the stream at this point then. Actually, I'll just step out here. You guys can
okay. YouTube, okay, you're basically improving your argumentative skills, if I'm getting you correct.
Yeah. Just helping improve argumentative skills. I noticed that some of our debaters here had went a bit long running with some of their arguments. Not to say that is inherently a problem, but just to say that, there's always improvement in everything. I can even say that I myself would have to personally improve my own debate skills, but overall, I think that everyone here, first of all, extremely brave for wanting to come online, for wanting to chat with somebody else, have an opposing point of view, just express where they're coming from. I think in and of itself, it's a very positive thing, and, you know, it just goes to show people that we're not gonna just simply attack you because you think, Sasuke's wife solos One Piece, or Perona solos Invincible.
Eon,
What's
stop,
up?
stop that, stop the. I don't even know what is now to call you towards Sakura. Just call her name, bro. Just call
Alright.
Sakura's name, bro.
Yeah.
Just call
Alright.
Sakura's name.
It's just a joke, man. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. It's cool.
It's good. It's good. I like it because like I didn't stay for like the full debate between
Mhm.
the Yonkos versus like Admiral guys, but the guy in support of Yonkos, he was just piling burdens on himself, and he wasn't really attacking like the Admiral's guy argument. So yeah, I agree. Like people should work on their argumentation more. If you are trying to improve that, then fine.
Well, that's lovely to hear. Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna head out now. Guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I hope that everybody takes care of themselves, drink some water, treat people with respect, and I'll be on likely earlier tomorrow to actually get some work done. But yeah, guys, have a wonderful rest of your night. Okay, peace out. Sasuke's wife.